Join us in welcoming the world's greatest DJ. His name is Till Mix. Ooh yeah, we partying with ghosts, 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 ghosts. They're the sexiest. Ooh yeah, partying with ghosts, 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 ghosts. Till Mix. Ooh yeah, we partying with ghosts, 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 ghosts. They're the sexiest. Ooh yeah, we partying with ghosts, 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 ghosts. Till Mix. They're the sexiest. Ghosts, ghosts. No gay demon masks, just ghosts, ghosts. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
All right, everybody. What's everybody up to? What are you going on? What's going on, people? Hold on, I gotta click this thing off right over here. There we go, I got it all clicked off. Man, I was trying to manage that audio in the very beginning. I was kind of messing up a little bit. I'm trying to get new stuff going on in there. I'm trying to set up playlists and all that kind of stuff and, you know, move beyond just the rookie streamer, you know what I'm saying? Because I am a rookie right now, okay? How's everybody out there doing today? Finally got that dual screen set up, so I'm all good. I got plenty of room, watching myself over here, watching the chat over here, getting it all done. Hopefully that's going to be fantastic, people. I'm all stoked about it, I'm going to come down here and check out, see who's in the chat. Who we got going on here? We got DJ John. What's going on, DJ John? We're going to get you on in a little bit, buddy. Who else we got? We got Mr. Jakey. Shout out to Mr. Jakey. How you doing? Pat, what's going on? How you doing? James Graven, bruv. What's going on? What's the word? What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Got Cut the Grass. How you doing out there? Hope you're doing good out there, Cut the Grass. Hope that grass is getting cut. Ayo! What's going on? What's going on? Well, how's everybody doing this Saturday? Okay, we got it's nice and hot over here. I got the leaves falling. I can see my tree right out front in the front yard right there. Got the nice magical golden leaves. They transitioned from the green finally. We got the yellow. Yeah, as you can tell, it's still pretty warm out here. I put on the toboggan right here, a little beanie. for a little bit of effect. You know, I gotta look good for the ladies. You know what I'm saying? So I got that going on. I got a little pop of blue right there. But it is, in fact, very hot. It's about 74, 75 degrees out here in the high desert, so I'm stoked about that. Of course, I always love it when it's hot, people. Who doesn't love it when it's hot? Get the hell out of here. Of course, maybe you do like yourself a little, you know, white Christmas. I got Forest Mommy. Shout out to Forest Mommy. I know she loves the white Christmases, okay? But then after Christmas is over, snow got to go. I can't handle the salt on my car. You know what I mean? If you ever lived in a snowy area, maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But damn it, the snow brings the salt. After the salt, everything gets all dirty and all messy and all that kind of stuff, okay? We got Cut the Grass. He's saying it's a toasty 37 degrees out there in Pennsylvania, everybody. KF Sage, what's up, KF Sage? He says it's jealous and gray and cold here in Pennsylvania. I hear you, dog. I hear you. Well, we had the chemtrails out like crazy yesterday. You know what's really interesting about that is that this is where I live is the area in Southern California where they set up all the storms. You know, if you believe in this kind of stuff, but it's true, people. They set up all the storms to go back east, okay? So when they go chemtrailing heavy out where I'm at right now, I look up in the sky and say, oh shit, we got some serious storms going back there for Texas. Got some serious storms they're whipping up for Pennsylvania. And then, you know, what happens is 4 or 5 days later, it's true. You guys get the biggest blizzards. You get the biggest rain. You get the biggest cold streak or whatever it is. And but it's clear skies right now, so I guess they ain't whipping up nothing for y'all back there. I don't know if you guys believe in all that kind of stuff, but, you know, I believe it. The Doppler radar is how they steer all that stuff, bro. That's how they steer it all. Facts. And, you know, look into it. I researched the hell out of that shit already back in the day. It's old news to me. Probably old news to you, too. You guys will probably all know that. Cut the Grass says it was windy yesterday. He walked to the store. Just walked to the store and it's so calm, not as bad today. Well, that's good. I like it when it's not as calm, bro. Or not as stormy. John says in Miami it's nice and 78. That's pretty good, John. Professor Grass, shout out to Professor Grass, who might be joining us later. He says it's 28 degrees over where he's at, so that's pretty cold. That's pretty cold. Cut the Grass says it was 8 degrees the other day when I went to work at 5 a.m. 8 goddamn degrees, man. That is some cold ass motherfucking shit right there. Pat says they usually get a white Christmas in Utah where she's at, but but by February it's all dirty. Yeah, it's all dirty. I hate that. We had a big opening over here where I live. I'm pretty close to all the big time ski resorts. I'm right next to well, big time for Southern California. Let me rephrase that, okay? This ain't no Tahoe. This ain't no Colorado over here. We got we got Big Bear right up the road from me, about 45 minutes. Then I got the other ones in. There's a couple other ones right around me in Westwood or Whitewood or Wood something. And I saw they had their opening the other day, and all the snowboarders were just basically slushing around in the water, bro, because it was so hot. And I don't know if they made fake snow or what it was, but that shit was all melting. They might as well have been water skiing, man. They might as well have been water skiing because that is that's not how you want to do it. But, you know, SoCal, we like to pretend like we got, ski resorts down here, but we don't. You know, I've been to Big Bear a couple times, checked it out. You know, I thought I was going to, be like one of the Colorado experiences. It's not. It's not. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you. Now, if you're one of them big time crackhead, snow bunnies, or you like to get out there with your skis, and you got to get out there on the slopes and all that, you're probably going to Colorado anyway. You're probably going to Utah or Wyoming, or maybe even going up to Lake Tahoe. But I'd love to go to some Aspen, bro. That would be dope. Or what is it, Jackson Hole? Well, I'd love to go to some Jackson Hole. That'd be so much fun. See some of them, during Christmas time. That's the time to do it. But, you got to be Oprah to pull that shit off. You got to be Tom Cruise or one of them, Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Gates types to be all up in that mix. No doubt about that. KFC says Vail was his favorite place to visit when he lived in Colorado. I've never been to Vail. Seen pictures. It looks absolutely beautiful. It looks fantastic. I would love to go to Vail. Back in the day, I remember it was the late 90s. That's all I heard about was Vail. Vail, Colorado. Vail, Colorado. Vail, Colorado. So it looks beautiful. And one of the only places I've ever been snowing, snowboarding, skiing in Colorado is Telluride. I had a great time in Telluride. Great town, great experience. The slopes were somewhat empty. You could go as complex as you want. You know, they got the 19 diamonds or whatever, or you could go as simple as you want. Go to the little bunny slopes, you know. And then you get tired of that, you can pop right over to that little town, right over the gondola ride. You have to take a gondola ride from the resort over to the little town, and you can go ahead and get yourself a nice little bacon bourbon. You know, they put that bourbon, they put the bacon right in it, and you have a good time like that. Some pancakes or whatever. And they got them old-timey, if you want to stay in town, they got them old-timey hotels. So that was a lot of fun. You kind of feel like you're right out of the Western, you know. And then I've been up to some places in Oregon, Mount St. Helen up in Oregon, up around there, Shasta or something like that. Been there. That was pretty good. They got good skiing, good snowing up there. It's just a different type of people, though, man. You know, snowboard people, snow people are just a different type of people altogether. Just a different type of people. And you kind of get that mirrored a little bit with the surfing people, surf culture, but it's completely different. You know, they got the adrenaline, they're both adrenaline junkies, but they're completely different, man. I'm definitely one of these, you know, surfing flip-flops, got the shirt open or whatever, going to grab a breakfast burrito, go to eat it while I watch the waves come in to try to decide if I'm going to surf or not, rather than one of them other guys that is getting out there and in like, you know, 3-degree weather, freezing like this, and getting a cup of coffee to get up there. And I'm sure it's amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's amazing. You get up to the top of the slope, right? You get on the fresh pow, as they call it, the nar, the fresh powder people. You get on the fresh powder, and you got the sun peeking right behind you, and it probably feels like you're in heaven. You got to put on your little sun goggles to make sure you don't blind the shit out of yourself, and then you go ahead and you get down the powder. I'm sure that's an incredible feeling, and that might get you addicted. I've never felt it. I've never gotten addicted, and but you know, it's maybe too cold past the point now. For me, I'm an all ocean kind of guy. But I do love bikinis, okay? So if you're going to have bikinis, every once in a while I hear about this thing about women skiing in bikinis. That would probably get me out there. But then again, there's tons of bikinis out there in Hawaii on, you know, SoCal beaches and all that kind of stuff too. So you really can't beat that. It's, you know, it's the best. That's how I roll. Hillbilly Harry, what's going on? Shout out to Hillbilly Harry in the chat. Now we're going to have a little bit of conversation with Hillbilly Harry. Jared tomorrow. It's going to be a blast. We're going to go ahead and get that out there, get a little bit of an interview going on. Going to talk to a little bit about Jared, about his journey, about his process, about what he's doing, about things that he's learned. And so I'm really excited for that. So shout out to you, bro, in the chat. He says, Hillbilly Harry says, the snow is beautiful, but it's too damn cold. And that's the truth. The snow is too damn cold. I guess I'm always been a spoiled Southern California guy. So I'm just never really kind of got in the mix. What else we got out here? We got Pat says Vail, Colorado is beautiful this time of year. It's not too far from where she is, so she goes several times a year. Let's fucking go, Pat. Going to Vail, Colorado. All right. That's pretty badass. DJ John says fresh powder has a different meaning here. And I definitely get addicted. Okay, I think you're talking about a little Colombian powder. We're not talking about that snow. We're talking about that Colombian snow. All right, we ain't got no objections to that for sure, okay? So who we got? All right, fantastic. Okay, so what's going on? Okay, happy Saturday, everybody. We're wrapping it up. Let me get my little Let's Go Jared mug. I got that thing going on right here. Got a little bit of honey mixture in there to help me not strain so much, you know, with the old voice. Bro, you really kind of learn what's up when you start talking like at least an hour a day. Yeah, you used to. I didn't talk hardly at all. I'd be like, I want some of that steak over there. Give me that hamburger over there. But, you know, I'm definitely talking a lot more nowadays. Having a good time doing it, too. Talking to you fine people out there in the audience. You know, thank you all for coming by. Spend a little bit of your Saturday, a little bit of your weekend with me here today as we roll in. It's about 11:15 where I am. Like I said, 78 degrees, having a good time out here. Now, I've been sending out all kinds of Christmas cards, all kinds of good stuff. Been sending out some candy, making some more candy. Going to really focus on making that candy. I got that almond roca, I got the fudge, the macadamia nut fudge. I just ordered some more cacao, so I got a couple bags of that showing up. You know, you can't just use the regular cocoa powder. That's just not going to do. You know what I mean? You got to use the real stuff. So, you know, I try to send it out to everybody, and I especially wanted to send it to you guys in the chat. If you guys in the chat think you want some of that, go ahead and drop me a message on the old Twitters, on X, as it were. We're going to roll with X, okay? And send me a message on that. Let me know that you want some, and I'll make sure to send you some. If not, I'm going to keep going down the list that I got, okay? If you want to be on that list, let me know so you can jump on that list. And there's no harm, no foul in saying, raising your hand and saying, hey, buddy, I want some of that. Give me some of that. Okay, no harm, no foul in that. We had, who was it? Incogsuito the other day. I was talking on Twitter, and he just came in out of nowhere. He says, I'll take some. I was trying to give it to somebody, and he says, I'll take some of that. So I said, hell yeah. I boxed it up, put it in the mail to him the next day, along with 3 or 4 other ones. So I'm making more. I'm boxing it up. I'm sending it out. You want to be on that list? Let me know. Jump on that damn list, okay? Make sure you do it on the Twitter, on the DM, so I can have a record of it, so I can put it in my fucking notes, so I don't, you know, I got so many things going on. I got a big clock, got a big whiteboard over here, got a whiteboard over here, got a whiteboard over here. I got all kinds of stuff going on, okay? So, crazy week, okay? I even had to get a little root canal this week, man. I was not happy about that one bit. But I got that taken care of, and you might have noticed, maybe not. Maybe I did a good job masking it, but I was kind of out of it for a day. Just to say the least, you know what I'm saying? That's what it kind of does to you. It fucking knocks you on your ass. Maybe I could have used some of that Miami snow you got out there, John. Okay? I see Pat says she wants some of that. Well, Pat, you're in luck. I already sent you some. So keep an eye out for that. Okay? Fantastic. All right. Okay, well, we're moving on. What else we got? Okay? Let's see. I got my little listed notes. I got to be semi-professional. And get what we got, okay? We're going to get what we got, people. Get what we got. All right. So, moving on to the next day. We had a great week last week. Okay, we had that banger of a motherfucking interview with Ryan Harkness, bro. Did you guys see that? That was fucking... I love talking to that guy. That guy is so damn smart, man. He is a smart motherfucker. And he's very humble, very genuine. He's very creative. Fucking love that. So we had a really good time talking to him. I'm probably going to try to figure out another time we can talk to him, because I've been trying to talk to him. You know, I tried to set it up a couple months ago, and just kind of our schedules didn't mix or whatever. Then all of a sudden he could go on that Sunday, so I dropped everything. I said, let's fucking go. You know what I'm saying? So I got to work a little bit in advance. So I'm going to try and get him on again, maybe on February, something like that. So I got to start now. Got to start poking him now. And so we'll get him back on there. I had a really good time. Really enjoyed talking to him. If you don't know about Ryan Harkness, go follow him. He's on X at Ryan Harkness _. And then also he does a show on Sundays. That would be tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern. And he does a fun show. And I always try to jump in and see that and while I'm working. Okay. And then we had another banger on Tuesday. Johnny motherfucking Rocket dropped by. And I love that guy, man. Johnny Rocket. You know, I'm kind of learning how everybody works. You know, everybody on the internet's a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? You come across in real life, and if you can't tell, you know, I like to talk a little bit. When I go out there, when I was in the bars, when I was shuffleboarding, when I was surfing, I like to talk, make jokes, cut up, make fun of people, have a good time, okay? So, you know, I got a little bit of that social experience under my belt, all right? But, of course, I also worked in the engineering field for quite a while, okay? So I was been around all these awkward engineers, all these crazy motherfuckers, you know, that don't know how to, you know, conversate, as it were. What was that in the Oh Brother Where Art Thou? When, you know, Dan Goodman's character goes, he's the guy with the patch, and he looks at George Clooney, he goes, I declare, boy, I think you do have the gift of gab. And so I always remember that. I thought that was really funny. Love that goddamn movie, by the way. Oh Brother Where Art Thou? If you haven't seen it, go watch that movie. The movie's fucking tremendous, okay? It's based on Homer's Odyssey, okay? Set in early colonial America in the South, man. I love that fucking movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Anyway, we had Johnny motherfucking Rocket on. I always say motherfucking because that just seems right. Johnny motherfucking Rocket. And he's a writer. And he wrote for The Maniac. And he's written for a couple other comic books for Ethan Van Sciver, Hellafit. And it's just a lot of fun to watch somebody go from, you know, not having their dream to slowly progress to get their dream to then they're in the stream of consciousness of what they want to do in their life. And it's very exciting. And I love that. We're going to try to get more people on. I got a couple other really interesting potential interviews and conversations coming up. Yeah, some people are even outside the country. So I'm really excited about that. It's a little tentative because it's kind of, they're traveling. It's kind of touch and go. And depending on how good the Wi-Fi is, where they're at and all that kind of stuff. And of course, you know, they're like in Asia. So it's like 12 plus 4 where I am right here. So it's like the opposite time zones. But we're going to make that happen. But so we had Johnny Rocket on Tuesday. That was a lot of fun. Okay. Then of course on Wednesday we had Forest Mommy with the Brovs, and that bro love Forest Mommy. That was a lot of fun because you're able to be political with FOMO, and then you're able to like cut up and have a good time. So we all had a good time with that. Had the guys on, James and John were there. We had a lot of fun, had a blast doing that. You know, if you haven't seen any of those, go back, check them out. Then, like I said, tomorrow we're going to have Jared and Hillbilly Harry. Going to get it on. And after that, I'm going to make me some almond roca to go ahead and put in the candy. And we're going to, if you don't know what almond roca is, it's basically crack for housewives. You know, it's the cheap version of crack. You actually make it just like meth. I'm not lying. You make it just like meth. And when you make it, what almond roca is you grade like you grade almonds, you put it down on a big cookie sheet. Then you grade the chocolate, put it down. Then you make your toffee, your English toffee, and you pour it just like you would pour the meth, right? And it pours out, and then it's in a liquid because it's all hot. When it cools, it gets hard and very brittle. And you break it just like you would break, you know, in Breaking Bad, you see him breaking the meth. And then you put the chocolate on top of it and the almonds on top of it, and it's a lot of fun to do. And boy, I love that stuff. I love eating that. So I'm going to make some of that on Sunday too. Make 2 or 3 batches. Try to include that with the candy that I'm going to send out and have a good time with it. I'm pumped about that. Okay, and then of course we got, hell, it's going to be fucking Christmas right around the corner. What is today? Today is the 13th, I think. Yeah, today's the 13th, and boy, it's going to be Christmas before you blink, man. It's almost a week away, more than a week away. So I got to figure out, what am I going to make for Christmas? What am I going to eat for Christmas? I don't know. What are you guys going to eat for Christmas? Do you guys have anything lined up? Are you guys going to do a prime rib, or I don't know, you're going to do a turkey? I was talking to somebody, they're going to do a turkey. What else are they going to do? Steaks, you know, pizzas, lasagnas. I don't know. I did pizzas one year, but I did pizzas for Thanksgiving, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I'd love to do a prime rib. Maybe I'll do that with a horseradish sauce. Got to have it really, really fucking spicy, though. I love it really spicy. Especially if you do a prime rib. Maybe some au gratin potatoes. If you guys don't know what that is, you slice them up, you cook them, and then you layer them in between some cheese and other stuff too. But that's the main gist of it. They're fantastic. Au gratin potatoes. Fucking love those. The other thing I really love is charcuterie boards. Okay, one of the big things that I want to do this next year is I want to make some cured hanging meat, like that capicola or the gabagool. I want to make like 5 or 6 of those and hang it up. Let it cure for maybe a 1 to 6 months. I've already been researching it, and make some of that because, man, I just want to have some of that. Everything that I've made, like I made that pastrami, right? And I used to not like pastrami, but then when I made it, the flavor's so different that it's fantastic. I fell in love with it immediately. So I can imagine that that's what it's like with the real, you know, cured meat. If you make it yourself, you put all your spices, you roast the spices, crunch them up, wrap them up in the refrigerator, then take it out and hang it, let it dry cure. So I'm really looking forward to that. Going to try and pull it off. And I'm going to try to get me one of them Globe meat slicers. We'll see how that goes in the new year. I'll try to find a used one, you know. Because them sons of bitches are like $2,000 brand new. And I was talking to somebody and they were telling me, yo, don't get a new one. Get one from the 90s. Those are the best ones anyway. The new ones aren't that great. They kind of break down and, you know, they've been re-engineered and all that kind of stuff. So don't like that, okay? So we're going to try to figure that out. Okay, I'm going to come back here, check in the chat, see how everybody's doing. Everybody's doing pretty good. Warfist, shout out to you, bro. I see you just dropped in here. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hit the like. That's right, people. Hit the like. Don't let, he says, hit the like or Judas wins. Yeah, don't let Judas win, whoever that is. I don't know who he's talking to, but yeah, don't let Judas win. All right. So, this week, been crazy. What have we been doing? Well, I definitely looked into that Dick and Vito drama. I've been watching the Biggest Problem, especially from last week. I knew that potentially on this Thursday, you know, switching it to Thursday is not a good idea anyway. But there could be some more heat. And so, of course, I did this little cartoon because there was more heat. And I had a good time doing that, okay? So I did that little cartoon, had a little fun doing that. We got Dick maybe even just throwing in the towel. I don't know. But he's like, come on, man. Are we still doing this? This isn't fun anymore. What are we doing? And Vito looks shocked. Like, oh, my God, don't pull it. Don't pull the plug on my thing, you know? And so I'm looking at this and I'm watching. I'm like, well, what's Vito's motivation here? What's his motivation? And I'm thinking maybe his motivation is just because he wants the attention from Dick and he wants to keep Dick captured, you know, on like for 2 hours a week so he could get his attention from Dick. And if you don't know anything about different types of people, different types of personalities, some people are completely motivated just based upon attention. And it's called supply, basically. And so they try to get supply anywhere they can go, whether it's positive or negative attention. They don't care. They just want the damn attention. So that kind of seems what that is. So we'll keep an eye on that, see where that goes. I always love watching that. I always love making the cartoons. If you guys have any ideas for cartoons or any ideas for what I should do cartoons about, be sure to send me a note. I got people sending me notes all the time. I absolutely love it. Some people think that they're butting in or, being, hey, they're like, hey, bro, I'm sorry to, bother you. It's not bothering me. I've got my DMs open for a reason. I want to be reachable, accessible. Anybody who wants to reach out and throw me a DM, throw me a fucking DM. You know what I'm saying? So, if you have any ideas for cartoons, send them to me. I'm going to make the cartoons. Then I'm going to have fun with them and try to post them. And I'm going to put them all into a book. I'm probably going to do that book maybe in March. So I'm probably going to launch that book in March, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I'm really excited about that. One of the other things I'm working on is I'm doing a little Christmas card. Now, this is a sneak peek, people. Sneak peek. It's not done yet. It's not done yet, but I thought it would be a really fun idea. So the ROTC guys, every Wednesday and Friday, the ROTC guys. What's up, Carrie? Good to see you out there in the chat. I see you jumping in here. The ROTC guys do a little live feed from Hog's Breath, okay? So then I was thinking, Hog's Breath, that's a saloon down in the Florida Keys, down in Key West. And so it looks just like, a little slice of heaven, right? So I was thinking, well, what if the ROTC guys were down at Hog's Breath and that was their Christmas card? And so that's kind of what I did right here. I made a little Hog's Breath Christmas card. And I'm still working on it. There's a whole bunch of funny stuff going on in there. I don't know if you guys can see it. But I'll swip it away real quick, and I'm sure if you wanted to, you could roll it back and hit pause and all that kind of stuff and have a good time with that. But we got all kinds of stuff going on in Hog's Breath. And so I'm going to go ahead and finish that up today. I'll get it scanned in, and then I'll put all the messaging on it and send it to them. And if they want to use it, they're more than welcome to use it. Give it to them. I just thought it was a fun idea, a lot of fun to have that in there. And so I always love giving back to everybody. The ROTC community, I don't know if maybe they don't like the word community, but that's what it is. I don't know, maybe you call it a gang, maybe you call it, I know Mersh calls it a pirate ship, but everybody's always has been tremendously kind to me. And so I love to, reciprocate in any way I can, whether it's through the cartoons or a Christmas card or sending out sticker packs or whatever. Not to mention, I do have a whole bunch of, I got a lot of stickers in the works right now. One of them is going to be the Mersh Holy card that I'm really excited about. I'm really excited about that. And then I also have a whole bunch of mugs that I got to put together. But, I'll try to put all those together for sure over this little holiday to try to get it out there. I just got to sit down. I already got all the art scanned. I just got to sit down and slap them on the mugs. And then, put them up on the Zazzle or whatever that website is. And then I got to get my own website, fixed. It's not in a situation right now where I could sell things. It's got to be streamlined. I was just a rookie guy trying to put shit together, but we'll get her done. We'll get her put together, and it'll be a banger. Or actually, it might not be a banger, but it'll be completely functional and okay, right? That's all we're going for. We want it to do its job, and that's all we care about, right? Okay. So that's enough of them damn announcements. Let's throw them over here, you know what I'm saying? Enough of them damn announcements. Get the snow out of the way. Get the salt out of the way. Get the cocaine out. Wait, no, keep the cocaine over here. We'll keep the cocaine. That's how we do it, okay, people? Now, what I wanted to talk about today, and I'm just going to talk about it briefly, then I'm going to open it up to the guys, for the guys to come in and we're going to have a conversation about this, is that little voice inside of you, okay? Now, what got me thinking about this is, I've been aware of the little voice inside of you, and you're probably like, Ray, what are you talking about, little voice inside of you? And I say, well, sometimes like maybe you'll be driving down the road, or maybe you'll be surfing, or maybe you be doing something, and you get this little voice that tells you something completely out of the blue and completely random, okay? And you're like, oh no, I'm not going to do that. Like maybe it'll be like, call your dad, or maybe it'd be like, go buy this right now. Or something like that. Just like out of the blue, and you're like, oh, let me brush that off. What am I thinking? But then like a couple hours later, it comes back out of nowhere. You're like, oh, whatever. And then you'll be like, the next day it comes back. Well, that happened to me, right? The other day. And the other day there was a situation, and I had interacted with somebody. And I was like, hey, I'm going to be, in this part of California, I'm going to get together with you. I want you to invite these other people so we can all get together, and I'll take you guys all out to lunch. We'll have a good time, okay? And that's what I wanted to do. And I said, can you do that for me? Because I know you got their phone numbers. I don't have a direct connection to them, but I'd love to have them there if they could. And so the person said, oh yeah, for sure, Ray Ray, let's do that. And then a couple days went by. I checked back in with them. I go, okay, great. Did you reach out to them? Did you hear back from them? And they were like, oh yeah, they're busy. They can't make it. And I was like, okay, yeah, I thought they were pretty busy people, but we'll just have a good time, me and you. And so that's what happened. I met up with this person, took them out to lunch. We had a great time. They went their way. I went my way. Okay. After that get together, a little voice jumped up in my head and said, hey, reach out to this person that you were trying to invite. And I was like, I don't want to reach out. They'll probably think I'm weird. I don't really talk to them a lot. I haven't really had a lot of direct interaction with them. I'm just kind of like this guy on the side that does cartoons, right? I'm not really in it like that, right? And so they're like, the voice was like, no, reach out and talk to him. I was like, no. So I put it off. And then I put it off for like a good month. I'm serious. It would pop in my mind over the course of that month. And, I was like, nah. And then finally, like late at night, because I work, late at night. I work till like 2 or 3 in the morning Pacific time. Because that's, when everything gets still for me and I have like a lot of really good ideas, or I'm finally able to relax enough to do very intricate like little paintbrush or inking or whatever that is. And I love it because I can leave my door open. I got the music on, or I'll have some podcasts on, late into the night and just be having a good time. So the little voice jumps in my head and says, do it right now. I was like screaming, do it right, like out of nowhere. So I was like, okay. I didn't have very much tolerance, and I just sent them a message on X or whatever. Well, lo and behold, they responded right then and there. And they were like, yo, what's going on? Good to hear from you. I'm glad you reached out. What can I help you with? And I said, hey, I just wanted to ask you a question. Did this person ever invite you when back about a month or 2 ago when they were in town and I wanted to take you guys out to lunch? And he said, no, he never said nothing to me about that. Never said a damn thing about that. And I was like, oh, really? Okay, well, I just wanted to let you know that I had thought of you and I wanted to invite you. And I know that I don't really know you very well and all that kind of stuff, but I thought it would have been fun to have you there. And they were like, holy shit, I would have loved to have come. Why don't we do lunch in the new year? And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Let's. And then he was really excited about it, and I was really excited about it. So I was like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. So I listened to my little voice, and then it kind of paid off. And, things like that happen in life. And that's what I basically want to talk about. We got Riley in the chat. Shout out to Big Riley. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you out there. And so, I was listening to my little voice, and I made this connection with this person. I went back, and at the risk of looking foolish or being embarrassed, I pressed through, even though it took me a month, right? So then I'm watching this other show, and it was Jim Breuer, and he was talking about how Jim Breuer got this little voice to call Chris Farley, and he kept putting it off. And then finally he tried to reach out to him and get his phone number. And then it took forever to get his phone number. And the day he finally got his phone number was the day that Chris Farley had overdosed. And so I was like, holy shit, that's that little voice right there. Okay? And he was like, Jim Breuer is explaining how he was feeling out of sorts with himself about, goddamn, it was real. I was supposed to talk to him. The voice was right. I wasn't just me being crazy. And he said after that, he did not listen to his little voice. Meaning, after that experience, it taught him to always listen to that little voice. Okay? And I got some other crazy stories like that. But of the little voice in my life, changing, talking to me, pushing me into areas that I didn't know I should go or what I should do. One of the times the little voice was talking to me was, I was in college, and I was at a college in Indiana. It was a private engineering college in Indiana called Rolls-Holman. Fantastic college. Tiny college, right? Maybe 12 to 1,600 students. It was all engineering, hardcore engineering. But in my junior year, I got this voice started telling me to transfer out west. Transfer back out west. I was in California before, transfer back out west, okay? And so I was like, nah, that's a lot of work. I'm already here. I'm a junior. I'm almost done. It's almost gonna be over. You know what I'm saying? And the voice kept transfer out west, transfer out west. So I started talking to people, and I started talking to different aspects of, the professors there. And I was like, well, what about, working in, in the industry? They said, well, where do you want to work? And I said, I want to work on the West Coast. I want to go back to the West Coast. And they said, yeah, Rose-Hulman only feeds basically to the Midwest and the East Coast. You should probably, if you want to work out west, you should go to a college out there, maybe transfer. So that was confirmation to me. So then when I went to apply to transfer, the lady at Cal Poly, that's where I ended up going, up in San Luis Obispo, she told me, she said, she didn't call me. She said, Ray. No, she didn't say that. She said, Mr. Ray. She said, hey, bro, no, you're not going to be able to get in because Cal Poly is like super competitive, bro, and all this kind of stuff. But you can submit anyway. And I guess she thought maybe I was coming from a community college because she never heard of my college, obviously, because it's back in Indiana. She's in California. But, it's a powerhouse college, bro. I'm not going to lie. Rose-Hulman is a fucking powerhouse college on the level of Caltech and, MIT and all that shit, bro. But for undergrads, right? It doesn't have a graduate system, graduate courses. So, so then when I applied, everything just kind of flowed. Have you guys ever had that experience when you're going in life and maybe you do one little action and that sets off all this chain reaction and then everything just flows in the way that it's supposed to? Well, this is one of those times for me. It's happened to me a number of times. It's happened to me so many times that I've recognized it and used it to navigate by through my life, right? If something doesn't flow, I stop and I say, hey, wait a minute, what's going on here? How come it's not flowing? Am I supposed to be here? Am I supposed to be in this direction? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And then I try to figure out what's going on or how to make it flow or whatever. And in that case with my transferring in my college, it flew just like that. I was in the fucking place, 2 weeks later. It was a blink of an eye. I was out of Terre Haute, Indiana. I was in San Luis Obispo, California. Just in a blink of an eye. And I was like, holy shit, bro. That's how it is. Another time that happened for me is when I went to study with that artist, Yim Mao Kun, in Taiwan, right? I thought, maybe I can buy a book. I started to email his assistant, who turned out to be his daughter, a very sweet lady. And she ended up setting up a whole thing where I could travel out there and stay with him. I didn't stay with him, but she got me a little apartment, and I ended up living out there and going and everything. And in a blink of an eye, I was like flying into Taipei, Taiwan. I had never been there. I had no desire to go there. But then all of a sudden, my desire to be a better painter, to take art seriously, to take it for real, to put in the effort that I wanted to make a career out of it, swooped me up in a heartbeat and took me out to motherfucking Taiwan. The only thing I knew about Taiwan is I used to have these little cars that had made in Taiwan on them, right? I didn't know anything about Taiwan. So then I was there for a couple years and learning all about Taiwan, all about, Chiang Kai-shek, all about all that kind of stuff. And, it's because I listened to my voice. I listen to your voice, then everything flows, right? And that's the kind of the mechanic that I want to talk about today. So I'm going to check in with the chat, see how everybody's doing out here, and I'm going to go ahead and open it up to the guys. When I say check in with the chat, that's me just kind of being like, trying to be professional, where I'm going to tell you guys I'm going to do some clicking. I'm not really going to check in with the chat. What I'm really going to do is I'm going to fire up this Zoom meeting right now. I'm going to fire up this Zoom meeting, so we're going to start this Zoom meeting right here real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in for the guys, and we're going to invite some participants here up in this Zoom meeting, and then I'm going to go check the chat. Okay? So that's what's really going on behind the scenes, and thank God I got this two monitor setup now that I can actually do it, instead of it driving me nuts over here trying to juggle these crazy programs. I feel like I'm doing a little bit of air traffic controller over here. Okay, so I just dropped the link in the Bruvs Unite chat. All the Bruvs can come in. We can all talk about this crazy stuff. We can all talk about how you listen to yourself and then change. Okay. All right. Well, hey, we already got Riley out in the chat. Clipiverse. He says he reached out to Dick Masterson on 2019, and it changed his life forever. For real, for real. Truly an incredible mentor and a friend to have had. Wow, Riley, that's awesome, bro. Without a mentor guru, it's a lot harder to develop and evolve, and I could say that 100%. Now, Riley, I'd love to chit chat with you about that sometime. Maybe in the next year when you have more time, have you on stream and to kind of talk about maybe how that experience was or how your life goes based upon creativity. I think that'd be fascinating. But yeah, when you get that idea in your mind, it's like a little voice that says something. And unfortunately, it sounds a lot like your voice, but it's not your voice. You're actually receiving information from somewhere else. It's like, it's the same way how you get creativity. You think about like how where these ideas come from that are completely foreign to you. And I've been thinking about that a lot in the past couple of years about where it's just like what Riley just said in the chat. He says the great magnet provides, and that's kind of what it is. It sounds a little bit woo. It sounds a little bit crazy. And shout out to CK in the chat. How you doing, buddy? It sounds a little bit crazy, but that's how it is. We're receiving these messages. We're receiving these ideas from another place, and what that other place is, I don't really know, but it's definitely something else. They have ideas that are bigger than who we are as people, and they come just like into your life through your mind. And if you act on them, it completely changes your world. It changes your life, and it gets all exciting, and it's crazy how it all gets synchronized and choreographed. And I don't know if anybody in the chat has had that experience besides Riley, but it really blows your mind. There was this another time. Okay, this one's kind of crazy. Okay, you guys, this one's a little bit crazy, and I'll tell you about it. Let me get a little drink of my honey to calm that throat down a little bit. Let's fucking go, Jared. Come on now, buddy. All right, so this one's real, and I say that because it sounds so wild, right? So I was maybe about like 5 or 6 years old, and I still remember it. Okay, and it was my mom, and I was in the back seat of the car with my brother, and my mom, back then they didn't have cell phones or nothing like that. She got this message that she should call one of her friends and let her friends know that, yeah, I see you, James. I'm going to repost that link right here, buddy. There we go. Link reposted. One of her friends, she got this idea that she had better go check on her friend because she thought her friend's husband was in trouble. Okay? Now, that is wild. So she fought that off for all the time, fought it off. And then she called her friend. And her friend, the lady, the wife, said, "Oh, don't worry about it. You know, it's his off day. He's at home. He's having a good time. Blah blah blah. Don't even worry about him." And then my mom was like, "No, you need to call him. You need to check on him. You need to call him. You need to check on him." So they got off the phone, and then the friend called her husband. He wouldn't answer. So then my mom called him. Wouldn't answer. And then so, my mom's friend said, "Oh, don't worry about it. He's probably fine." And then my mom was like, "No, I'm worried about him. I'm freaked out about him. I don't know. This is crazy. I know it's crazy." So then my mom put me and my brother in the car, and we drove over to the guys, their house, right? It was about a half an hour away. And she was knocking on the door, and he wouldn't answer. And the friend had given my mom permission to get the key out of wherever the hidey key was, under the mat, over the door, I don't know, in a secret rock. And she unlocked the door, and she walked in, and she was like, "Hey, are you here? Are you here?" And she heard a little bit of groaning, right? So I remember walking in with her, behind her, when she was saying this. So she went to the back, and she screamed. And she screamed because he was sitting in a tub of warm water, and he had slit his wrists. Bro, how wild is that? Homie was trying to commit the old get off the earth, one-way ticket out of here kind of thing, if you know what I'm saying. And so she freaked out. She panicked. She called the 911 immediately. They came. They saved him, and they saved his life. And they said if he was set in the tub maybe 30 more minutes, he would have been toast. And so that's one of the things that really stuck with me when I was a kid, because I remember sitting there on the couch petting their cat. They had a really pretty cat, and his name was Momo. I always loved that name, Momo. And it was a black floofy cat with a little white nose and stuff, white on his nose. and I was petting a cat, and I was watching all this happen, watching all of the EMT people, you know, drag in the big gurney, get them up, you know, chink a chink, and then drag them out and all that kind of stuff. And it was wild. It was wild. And so that was something that was really crazy, and that really stuck with me for the rest of my life. And I've always been like, okay, I talked to my mom about it. I said, oh, you got to listen to that voice. What happened? How did you listen to the voice? And she said, you know, it just kept bothering me so much, and it was louder and louder and louder, and I couldn't let it go, so I had to do it. And so I thought that was a crazy one, a crazy intuition one. And we got who we got? We got back here. We got Professor Grass. Let me bring you on real quick. We got you in the old Zoom chitter chatter. We got Professor Grass on. How you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I was coughing. How's it going, man?
Good, buddy. It's great to see you, man. How you doing on this December Saturday afternoon? Is it cold where you're at? I might have to rearrange some of these windows, but is it cold where you're at?
Yeah, it's 30 degrees outside right now.
Yeah, 30 degrees.
And, it's fucking windy, so it's like 18 degrees, actually. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
God, I'm dying here. Yeah, man, I'm having a good time. Fucking Christmas time's around the season. My wife and daughter went off to go shopping and go Christmas caroling.
Fantastic.
And I was like, I'm going to stay at home with Ray a little bit, fucking cheers with that guy, and go and secretly go grab some gifts for their stockings when they don't know, you know?
Oh, hell yeah, bro. You got like the dad shift going on. I love it. Mr.
Yeah.
Santa Claus. I see you got your Santa hat on. That looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm getting into the Christmas spirit too. I'm going to make myself a little Santa hat. I got a green hat, and I'm really excited about it. Probably this week I'm going to make it. But I bet you're tiptoeing around getting that stuff going with all of the different little presents and all the stockings and everything. It's probably so much fun.
Oh yeah, man. Our stockings are hung over there on the windowsill with care, and like we got the Christmas lights up, the tree up, and my wife's got the fucking blow molds out and shit. Man, we do it up on the holidays.
Wow, she got the blow molds and everything like that. That's awesome. That's what you want to do though. That's the kind of exciting holiday spirit that you want to have. You know what I'm saying? That's incredible.
Oh yeah, man.
That's
why I got excited and started doing my 25 days of green pill, man. Like, we need some Christmas cheer. Motherfuckers ain't be excited about Christmas this year for some reason.
That is the truth, man. They are not excited about Christmas. What's going on with that?
I don't know. But they need to fucking whip it into shape real fast, or Professor Grass will come up at him with Krampus. Come at you. I'll get Spirit in here.
Yeah, no, for sure. You got to get that taken care of. I'm just trying to drop the link one more time for James. For some reason, my email's not working, so I'm going to put it right in his personal DM. James, I put it in your personal DM. There you go, buddy. Have you ever had an experience where you had that little voice talk to you? Is that crazy? Do I sound crazy right now, or has that happened to you?
No, man, that's a real thing, and sometimes they're giving you voices of wisdom and warning, and other times it's at a detriment to yourself. You're sitting there and you're like, oh, I wonder what they're talking about over there. I bet you it's me. I bet you're laughing at something about me. They keep looking over here, and then it's nothing to do with you. They don't give a fuck.
Well, have you ever had that experience in your life where maybe you've had a situation where the voice has talked to you, or and you've acted on it, or have you ignored it or anything like that? I
mean, it's good to listen to the voice, but if it's giving good advice, take the good advice. If it's giving shit advice, don't do it.
Well, no, that's
the decision that you have to make.
Well, I don't necessarily mean like as an advice kind of thing. It's like more like, have you ever been prompted to do something like go check on a friend, or go buy something, or call somebody up?
Oh, just the fucking feeling.
Yeah, that feeling that you had, or like check on your kid, and I don't know, and like if they're sleeping or if they're doing okay or whatever, and then it turns out that like your friend was in trouble, and it's a good thing you checked on him.
Yeah, there's been a couple of times like that, and one time it was a false alarm, which was really nice. we were getting set up for tabletop Fallout every Saturday that I do, and our DM, which is my buddy that lives like 45 minutes away, just never said anything, and he usually is pretty prompt about that kind of stuff. So like, I ran over there, and he was just conked the fuck out over his desk. And I was like, "Whoa, man, are you good?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I just fell asleep." I'm like, "Good. I'm glad you just fell asleep, and it wasn't like you fucking drug overdosed or did something bad, you know." And he's like, "No, I'm fine. I just need some sleep." And then he looks up, and Discord was open. That's what freaked us out. Discord was open, and he was muted. So like, we didn't know what the fuck was going on at all. And there was just a feeling, and I was like, I got to go drive over there and at least talk to the guy. And, I did. And I don't know if it was detrimental at the time, but it's I'm a religious kind of guy, and I'm a Christian, so like, I feel like God pulls at the heartstrings a little bit to pull you in the right direction sometimes.
No, for sure, and I completely agree with that, and I think that's a really big thing. We got James joining the stream too. James, what's going on, bro? How you doing today, buddy? You having a good Saturday?
Well, I was.
Until what? What happened?
No, but it's like I'm as happy as Larry, which you don't get that saying, do you? It's like everyone's like ragging me about happy as Larry. I thought everyone said that, but like I was happy as Larry, and then it's this fucking technology, man. It's driving me nuts. This fucking when it used to be DMs, it was sweet. Now it's chat. Every other week, they gets busted out. Last week it was our personal one. This week it's the Bruvs Unite, and I can see the links there, but when I click on it, the link ain't there. So it's like you had to bang it into the. I fucking hate it, man. I just want to smash all technology to pieces, man. I am an analog man in a digital age. It drives me nuts. It drives me fucking nuts.
Bro, I feel you, man. I was trying to set up some things today.
Blunt instrument.
Yeah, I got the little dual monitor thing going, and one of them's not calibrated right, and I got to fix it afterwards. But it's like one thing after another. And so it's a real pain in the ass. I was trying to get that link to you while I was talking to the people, trying to pretend like I was all super smooth.
No, I know. It's irritating, man. And it's like irritating that you keep having to ask, because I know it's there, right? But all I've got is Ray is happy, no link. Ray is happy, no link. So I'm tapping away like this, and there's nothing to fucking tap. It's like, shit.
It's like, motherfucker.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah. James, we're talking about like the little kind of the voice that talks in your head that gives you like maybe a prompt or something to go do something, and then maybe like you ignore it or you do it. Have you ever had those experiences, and then have you ignored it, or have you done it, and then how did it turn out?
Yeah, every day I wake up and there's the devil on my shoulder, and he says, "Be bad and do terrible things." That's basically my entire life. My entire life is like, be bad and do terrible things. Try to ignore it and stay on the straight and narrow. That's been my entire life since I was knee high to a grasshopper. I remember one of the first memories that I have. Right, I told you that my dad was a bricklayer, wasn't he? First thing I can remember, I was a little kid, right, and he left his hammer on the floor, right, and I just grabbed that fucker and swung it around and threw it through a window. And that's like my first memory, and it's been downhill since. Anytime there's like fucking, you know what I mean? I don't think, the problem is I don't think. Everything with me is base and instinct and impulse. Yeah. I don't think, I just live for the moment and do it. So if there's a right road to go down, I will always go down the opposite road.
Yeah.
Hence how I can completely tanked my life at certain points. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what I'm like. I'm kind of like an impulse guy. I don't really think too much about anything. Kind of like live for the moment, and just, that's how I've always been. It's like, I'm not an incredibly deep thinker, but I did say something to someone the other day where, and I think this is kind of true, I'm what I need to be at any given moment. You know what I mean? I'm what I need to be at that precise moment in time. Yeah. I try to be like that, you know, just living, like, be situational, you know, like some people are situational. I try just to be a situational person, you know what I mean? It's like, that's how I can't try to be, but like, I'm very impulsive and I'm very quick to anger, you know what I mean? I don't know what that is. I don't know whether that's the English side or the Italian side. I would hazard to guess it's the Italian side, but like, I'm very impulsive and quick to anger. But like since I've come online, I've tempered it because I'm aware that kind of people on here are a bit psychotic. Some of them, you know what I mean? They go overboard and they're a bit personal and they take liberties. And you know what I mean? They try like the trolling aspect of it. So I've tried to like colour between the lines because I don't want those people being anywhere near me. You know what I mean? Giving me lag, giving me hassle. So I've kind of like online. I temper what I would be like in real life. I kind of temper it and try to, if I can avoid confrontation, not because I'm bothered by it, just because I don't need the hassle. You know what I mean? I don't need that taking up any like amount of my time.
Yeah. No, that's true. You know, shout out to Jewy in the chat. But no, I completely agree with you. You don't want to attract those crazy people to you. You don't want to, you know, make your life harder and then have to fight with all of them and all that kind of stuff.
They want a reaction, don't they? So I try so hard not to give them a reaction, even though I desperately want to give them a reaction. You know, I'm always talking about that Danny. You know, I'm always talking about that Danny Boy 83 when he got his Instagram. He got his Instagram nuked. He got it.
Really?
He got it nuked.
Really?
He's got no Instagram now. He's got no TikTok because he basically let all the trolls get into his head. And he said online, right? He said, "I've got a mate who's in computing. I've got all your names. I've got all your addresses. So when I get back from Cambodia in a couple of days, I'm going to come knocking on your door and I'm going to iron you and your entire family out." And he says, "I don't care." He says, "It doesn't matter if it's your mother, your father, your sister, your dog." He says, "I'm going to have all of them." And he was posting, he's getting more and more stressed, right? Posting these videos and he was threatening everyone. He says, "I'm going to go to Thailand and I'm going to beat this other geezer up." And you know what I mean? The trolls got to him so badly, they twisted him in knots. And he was doing well. I mean, he was on 100,000 on Instagram.
Yeah.
And now he's completely lost his account.
Yeah, see, it's not worth
it. He goes, "I'm going to have to go to Rumble now because I can just say what I want." And I'm like, yeah, but you can't threaten to like do people harm, mate. You just can't do it. But he's like, he's brought the streets online. You can't bring the streets online, you know what I mean? But he's exactly the same as me. He's from South London. He's Woolwich, John Croydon. But he can't differentiate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He thinks online's the streets, and you can just go around to people's houses and do them in.
Yeah, Elon gonna get you if you do that, bro. You're gonna kick you off.
Yeah.
They're gonna get you. Yeah. Now I wanted to ask Professor Grass. You know, this brings up a good question. Grass? Do you have an inner monologue? Have you heard these people talk about how, like, say for example, there's like 70% of the population has an inner monologue, then maybe 30% doesn't have an inner monologue. Do you have an inner monologue, or can you hear your own voice in your head? Huh?
Yeah, I hear my own voice in my head all the time.
Okay.
Like, that's a real thing.
Yeah, there's people who don't have an inner monologue, who don't hear themselves. Maybe they just see pictures, or maybe they just do communicate with emotion and other things, but they don't have that voice in their head. And that was like a big deal. Like, it broke like maybe a year or two ago. That there's people out there like that who do not have an inner monologue. And in fact, you know, I think
that's spooky, man.
Isn't that crazy?
The simulation theory a little there. That's fucking crazy shit.
Yeah, like you got to ask him, are you an NPC? That's what I was gonna say. Are you an NPC? Like, what the hell's going on there? James, do you have an inner monologue, James, or are you one of the 30% without an inner monologue?
Oh no, I've got thoughts that run around in my head all the time. Probably too many.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? It's like I suppose it's for you as an artist. You're probably like, your head's probably like a traffic jam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mine's like that. I'm always thinking about family. I'm always thinking about how I can make more money. I'm always thinking about like what I've got to do throughout the day, and how 24 hours doesn't seem enough time now. I'm doing all this online shit because I told you I'm spending time now that I wouldn't usually spend fucking making videos. You know what? And like I said to you, didn't I? I'm doing like 6 or 7 videos a day. I'm flooding YouTube. Professor Glass was even taking a piss out of me on stream. He was going, "Yeah, this James guy, he just floods everyone's timeline with videos." You know what I mean? And it's kind of annoying. And I'm like, I was like,
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah, I'm like, why?
I just said that he will flood your timeline.
I'm trying to grow it. So I'm like, I'm having to like spend like a couple of hours now because it takes about an hour to make these little shorts, and then I've got to spend an hour uploading them to fucking every platform that I'm on, and it's so boring. It really is. It really is fucking boring and laborious. You'd rather do anything, wouldn't you? You'd rather sit on the toilet and have a big shit than fucking have to do all these fucking YouTube videos and Instagram videos and TikTok videos. And at the end of it, you're like, yeah, well, that one did all right. It got about 1,000 views. And I'm like, I'm happy with that because I've got about 30 fucking followers on YouTube. So it's like 1,000 to do for me at the moment. But it's like, this online game is a right graft. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
it's a right graph for no money. You don't make. I'm not making any money, so it's a graph for no money.
Yeah,
it's unpaid work.
Grass. It's a lot of work.
On my social blade, that found out today on my social blade that I make like, if I was to make money on YouTube, my channel would make like $10 a month.
Yeah,
shit in it
from all of the hard work I put into the channel.
Yeah, it is
and
quite.
Like,
it's quite
I asked Brock about my stats and stuff, and it said something along the lines of like, "Oh, this guy puts out a lot of content, but he's just never seen." And I'm like, "Oh, I think."
Yeah, way to crush my ego, Grok. Thanks, bro. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, what the hell is that? Now, okay, guys, we're gonna talk about a little content creation. What is it? What do you got to do to get noticed? Like, I was listening to some people the other day, and they were saying, "Oh, bro, you have to bot. If you want to be for real, you have to pay to bot." And I was like, "Man, fuck that." What do you think about that, Grass? Yeah,
you got to be blonde and have a big pair of tits. That's what you got to be.
Oh, that's facts. That's facts. Speaking of Courtney,
anybody that bots.
Huh? What'd you say, Grass? No, I was saying
robots watching them. That's gay as hell.
Yeah, a lot of people bot in order to get so the algorithm will pick them up, and so the algorithm will then put them in front of real people. So they kind of like, it's kind of like it's a little cheat code to jump up in the algorithm and have them pushed out further. But I made a decision that I didn't want to be captured by the algorithm, and if I only get like 40 or 50 or 10 or 7 people watching me, that's fine. Of course, I'd like to have like 3 million, like old Osmond Gold out there. I'm not gonna lie about that. That makes the ego feel nice, don't it, Grass? That makes you feel pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Get a little Osmogold numbers. That'd be pretty fucking awesome.
There for just a little bit, like Nightwave was rating my stream.
Yeah.
And half of the people that would come in through Nightwave would just be like, "Oh, this guy sucks. I don't want to watch this," and they would vocalize in the chat. I don't really give a fuck, by the way.
Well, no, I mean, you don't want to hear that. That kind of rubs you the wrong way.
Well, the thing is, though, when he did that, I was very upfront about it, man. That shit helps small creators, especially ones that refuse to bot like me and you, because we will do the show for 10 people and fucking do it with a smile on our face because we're doing it because we know eventually one day we'll be seen by the algorithm.
Yeah.
A couple of my videos have been seen by the algorithm past a fucking 1,000 within a couple of days and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking blessed for that, like, and those things, you kind of keep an eye on, you kind of get that boost, and it helps a little bit. But people, the thing that to answer your question though, the thing that you need to do is what you are doing right now, Ray. You're going around, you're finding new friends, you're connecting with different audiences, and you're being like, "Hey man, I'm here, I'm doing this thing. If you're here, we're going to be doing this thing." And then you're also just doing it with people that, you already watch, which makes fucking sense. That's kind of what I was kind of trying to do, and you're really good at that, man. I'm going to give you fucking heads up for that. You're really
I appreciate
good at,
that.
going around and talking to people.
Yeah,
I suck at doing that. I suck at the social part of this media, but like, kick some ass, Ray.
Yeah, no, I'm just inherently curious. And like when I met you, I was like, "Girl, I gotta learn about this Grass. I gotta see what he's all about." And then I get to know you, and I'm like, "Oh," and then I remember all this stuff, and it works out well because I'm like, "Oh, Professor Grass likes this, and this, and I like Grass. Grass is awesome." And then I met James, and the same thing kind of happened with James. And then I keep going, and I just have fun doing it.
I do this begrudgingly with a smile on my face.
Well, you're the one.
I do the opposite to Professor Grass. Begrudgingly with a smile.
Well, that's funny
You
because
can do that, James, because it's your brand.
yeah, no. Well, the funny thing is
you could do that. You could do that and also wink at the fucking birds.
yeah, fire. The funny thing is
It's
James
just an
is.
inside joke with me. It's all inside jokes. That's how I do it. It's all inside jokes. It's like, yeah, I don't really want to be here. I've got better things to do. But I'm here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like that. It's like wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I'm here.
Yeah. And he got
Hey,
that.
man, to be real though, I was just on Twitter getting prep, and your shit popped up right after a random ass video. So like, you're getting into the algorithm.
That's what I'm saying. James is getting
that's
traction.
actually why I mentioned it too, because you just like popped up after a video, and I was like, "Whoa, it's James!" I'm like, "Fuck it, what's James doing?"
Yeah.
Finally, those fucking bribes have been paying off. I've been working my balls off bribing people. Finally, those fucking bribes have paid off.
Yeah, he's got that
know.
track. It's that tracksuit, bro. It's that nice tracksuit that's pulling him all
This
in.
is the Statham-esque one. Every time I wear this, I think I'm banging Amy Smart from behind in Crank.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, no, but
one or two. I can't remember. That was one,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it was one. But yeah, James, you're getting some traction over there, bro. You're starting to break the 1,000 views barrier consistently,
I
man.
can't deny it. Americans are addicted to miserable English bastards. They love us. It's like they either like the soppy Hugh Grant types, or they like the like fake, Mockney gangster types, don't they? And I kind of I suppose I kind of fit into like the latter, even though I'm not a Cockney. He really pissed me off, that fucking 9/11 is gay guy calling me a Cockney. Fuck off, mate. I'm from South London. What are you doing?
I don't know, he got pissed off about that.
It's like,
Fuck that guy. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, Grass, how has the streaming kind of changed your life? I mean, it hasn't brought you the millions of dollars yet, but it's changed the way you view life. How has that impacted you? What would you say?
Man, I'm not trying to get super personal here, but I have.
Don't get super personal. What? You've always had a what?
Always had an anger issue my whole life.
Okay.
I've always been an angry person.
Okay.
Always angry, fucking perpetually angry, pissed off at everything, flipping people off in traffic, then trying to fucking, smash into them. But, like,
You seem so
I
happy,
found
though.
outlets for this rage that, like, games and stuff like that. That's why, like, on streams, I'll play fucking God of War and Twisted Metal and shit, because it's old school games I used to play to kind of let out that rage a little bit. I'm going to smash up a car. I'm going to fucking chop some dude in half with the blades of chaos,
Yeah.
But like, I've always been an angry person, but like, whenever I started to do my YouTube channel, it was an outlet for me to express myself and be able to not bottle up the rage, but like put the rage into a better,
to channel it.
Yeah. Yes, to channel it. And, with the green pill, I'd watched everybody online because I've already covered politics at this point and some Pokemon on my channel and a little bit of TV shows here and there and stuff. So like when I made the green pill, that was a big turning point for my channel, I think, because like I wanted to focus on positive things.
Yeah.
And I wanted to look around at the good in the world, but never ignore the fucked up shit too. Like always bring that into a little bit in there, but not make it the biggest part of the show. I wanted it to be nice fucking vibes, cool vibes. We're hanging out, we're smoking weed, we're talking about the fucking different cool strains, the makeup of it all. And then we're going to watch a bunch of weird shit on the internet. Cause it's like the vibes of your dealer hanging out with you. And he's like, hey man, you got to hang out for an hour. Cause like the cops are around the corner and I don't want to be fucking like popped. So I want you to hang out and watch these weird videos with me. That's like the vibe I was going for, like, because like, that's how I used to buy weed. It was illegal at the time. And I was buying weed off the couch. And I just so happened to come into this group of people that sold weed that were solid people. They weren't trying to give me all sorts of wacky shit. They were like, hey man, you're a weed guy, I'm a weed guy, let's smoke some weed.
Yeah.
And that it's like a community kind of thing in a sense, but also I also hate those motherfucking people that are on the internet that have a ton of money and then they waste their goddamn weed. And I get mad about that if you look at me funny.
Yeah,
I'm
like
Professor Grass, but
Yeah.
you know, I can't stand it, man. Like I've always been a poor person that likes weed, so it's like
Yeah.
I had to grow my own weed. I have some shit drying right now. That artificial red that we covered on my channel, Ray Ray.
Yeah, I
it's
remember.
drying right now. I'm ready
That's
to
awesome.
smoke that shit. Oh, it's fucking fire, dude. It smells so good.
Dude, that's what you got to do. You got to channel your emotion into something creative. Whether you're growing or whether you're on stream, whether you're doing something like, hey, maybe you're just making Santa Claus hats. Like I like the one you got on right now. Maybe that's what you're doing. But you have to channel it, and that creativity will change your life. I firmly believe that. James, how has streaming changed your viewpoint on how you see the world, or has it? Maybe it hasn't.
It's just reinforced my belief that I'm better than most people.
Yeah, has it made you more brazen?
Yeah, because I know. I've always known. I'm always known that I'm better. I am better.
Yeah.
It is. I've got more confidence. I've got more charisma. I am 100% arrogant. I tell you this off stream and I tell you this on stream. 99.9% of streamers are dog shit.
Yeah.
Everyone in Comicsgate sucks. Everyone in Rippaverse sucks. Everyone in Dabbleverse sucks. They're all shit.
Yeah.
You know, there's some good streamers out there. I think Mersh is a good streamer.
That's why King
I think
Mersh will
Sulk.
destroy them all.
I think Sulk is a good streamer.
Yeah.
Dr. Till hasn't got the numbers, but I always retweet him. I think Dr. Till. I think Professor Grass, he ain't got the numbers. He's a good streamer. I wouldn't be streaming with him if I thought he was dog shit. You're a good streamer. You'll eventually get the numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm just coming along for the ride. But I like, all joking aside, I do think, it's a personality thing. You've got to come in with an act, haven't you? You've got to either be confident or you got to be like John. You got to be like a fucking brainiac who knows what he's talking about, with the politics. And then he gets pissed off because there's an arsehole like me that goes, yeah, but that's pretty boring, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like kind of like poking him and jokes and antagonise him, and then that helps the stream.
Yeah, no, it does.
Stream, when you've got like. And this is not a knock. I don't keep doing this. It is a knock, but it's not a knock. But if you've got a stream of 10 comic book people who don't really have a lot of personality, it's dry as fuck. You know what I mean? When you're baking a cake, it's about ingredients, isn't it? You need ingredients to bake the cake.
Yeah.
And you need the different ingredients, and you haven't got it with a lot of those people. And some of them are not very good on stream. They're not very confident. They're a bit dry. I think you just got to come in and take your shot, and then you obviously got to take your lumps, because there'll be people that like you and there'll be people that hate you, but you just don't worry about it. I just love it. It's fun for me. I come on here, I run my mouth, I have a laugh. I'm here because of you, and I'm helping you out. I mean, I've got my own thing going on over with the shorts, and I don't ask anyone. I'm not like, oh, help me, help me grow my shorts. I'm just off doing my own fucking thing. I'm not asking anyone for any help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I come on, and coming on for you, it's like a stress relief. It's like, fuck, I've had to do those shorts today, so I come in here and just have a bit of a laugh and a vent, and that's what I like.
Yeah.
Streaming's fun. Anyone who tells you streaming's hard is a fucking liar. Streaming's easy. It's just you got to come up and take your swing.
Yeah, no, that's the truth. You have to be able to put your pound of flesh on the scale to be weighed, and you have to be comfortable with that. You see, like, you see kids streaming, so it can't be that hard. You know what I mean? Technically, and it's not. You kind of get the things together. But, Grass, you really have to step up and just kind of put yourself out there. I think that's the hardest part, isn't it? When you have to put yourself out there, and especially when you get older, you kind of like, you get this personality, you don't want to be mocked or whatever, so you're kind of shy for that.
Just for instance, man, hey, do you know how nervous I was to text Ray Ray is Happy, the artist that is behind these fucking comics and like actual art, to be like, hey, do you want to come on my show and talk about weed?
No, and
how stupid that is to go and to talk to people and be like, hey, I do a show where I talk about weed. Let's have fun and talk about weed, man,
Yeah,
bro, huh? And then they're like, nah, that sounds lame. And then they get there, like Ryan Harkness, another dude I was extremely fucking nervous to talk to. He is one chill fucking dude. Not only that, but he's fucking really nice. He's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
And he come on and he's just like fucking chill as shit. Did like 2 hours with me. And it's like you said, though, you got to put yourself out there. And if you don't, you won't know what opportunity you will ever not be able to reach. I got to meet Jim Belushi, Ray is happy, and fucking Ryan Harkness. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, that's fine. We got Zayd in the chat, and he says, watching yourself, Ray is pretty vain, and he's making a joke because you got that TV on your channel. But no, I completely agree with you, and I'm so glad that you reached out, because you were the first show that I ever did, or I ever went on, and now I got you coming on here. We're having a good time, and got to know you, and you're a great guy. You're an awesome person. And it really is that. It's like overcoming those fears in order to try to have. There you go. Now you got the Christmas tree on. I love it. I love it. There you go, Zayd. How do you think about that? Zayd. Now Zayd's out there. He's making great video game.
Yeah,
go.
From last night's show.
Yeah, go.
Episode 100.
100. See, that's a big deal. And you really got to do it for the love of the game. You got to have a good time, and you got to work on yourself to try to refine yourself. And I definitely believe there's this process of refinement that no matter if you're a streamer, you're a woodworker, maybe you're a marijuana grower, that you go through this series of refinement before you start to pump out the good quality stuff. And everybody has to go through that.
I'm in trouble, dude. I'm fucked.
No, you're doing it right now. You're the one that's getting traction, bro.
James,
and that's
you're
already
sharp as a tack, homie.
Yeah. I agree. James, see, like the thing about James is you came on here, you already had an identity that you wanted to project. And so I think that's fantastic. You just turn it up too low.
I think you actually test for me. He actually tests for me because D-Wag was kind of like sly taking a piss. You know what I mean? Like he does. When someone tries to put it on you and they're like, yeah, you're kind of streaming with Mersh. You must be real nervous about that. And I was like, nah, fuck, mate. You know what I mean? The worst thing was the audio. The audio was a disaster on that stream for me. But we got around it. But and then it's like Forest Mummy. They're like, yeah, can you're like this off screen with women, but can you really be like it when the rubber meets the road on stream? And I'm like, don't worry, it'll take care of itself. And it did. You know what I mean? It's like, you get these people. You can't. The one thing I think I would say to anyone, like I've got fucking hardly any traction and any followers, but I've been on stream with people that have got, like, take Forest Mummy. She's got 50,000 followers, and I didn't blink or shit myself, did I? You know what I mean? You can't treat people like they're, holy fuck, this is, Dick Masterson or Forest Mummy. They've got weight and clout and all that. I don't give a fuck about weight and clout. I just, if I like you, I like you. If I don't like you, I don't like you. And that's how I feel on stream. I'll stream with Ray. I'll stream with Ray and Professor Grass all day fucking long. If we're streaming to two people, I don't give a fuck. I'll carry on. If Ray wants me to go 5 hours for 10 people, I'll go 5 hours for 10 people.
I'll send you some power bars if we do that, though. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, 5 hours and stuff.
That's a long time. Now, what were you saying, Grass? Were you going to jump in there real quick before we move on to something else?
I agree, though, dude. Don't give a shit about the clout and whatnot, but, like, Ryan Harkness, Nightwave, and, like, Ray is happy. These are people I actually watch, and, like, I use YouTube as I'm a little bit younger than y'all folks. Not super young, but just a little bit.
Yeah.
And I use YouTube as my TV,
Yeah, me too.
Like, going and pirating all the shit that's from Hollywood that I want to watch. But, like, fucking whenever I watch Nightwave, dude, I watch that shit nightly. Like, in, like, Adonis Ball and shit. Like, I watch all these shows, and, like, if I get the chance to meet them, that is, like, a celebrity moment to me. Because it's like, fucking holy shit, dude. I watch your show. I know, like, what you project, at least, onto the channel. I know that person, Yeah. I know that character, at least, And that's pretty wild shit. Like, I don't know if that's parasocial or whatever, but, like, I don't know.
No, well, you bring up a very interesting point. A very interesting point. And back when Hollywood was the thing and there wasn't all this online stuff, we call those people fans, or we call them star fuckers or whatever. and where they kind of just melt.
Starfucker.
Yeah, we call them star fuckers because they would roll over. They
I thought that was just anal people.
No, they'd want to. Well, I mean the starfish fuckers, but they'd want to run any star they found, especially the women. They would want to like hook up with them or whatever, and they would treat them like they're this higher than godlike kind of creature. And long ago, I definitely came to the conclusion that everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time. If you ever want to have a good relationship with people who have any form of fame or clout, you have to treat them like they're normal motherfucking people. Because as soon as you treat them like they're a little bit above you, you destroy the relationship. What are your thoughts on that, Grass?
I feel you on that one. Yeah, it would be weird to just be like a sycophant of somebody. That's weird. Like if Mersh comes out tomorrow and he's just like, I've been insert bad thing that you can't say on YouTube here this whole time. I've been doing it this whole time, just like Trump. And then and I would be like, okay, well, I don't think I'm going to be watching Nightwave no more. But like, there's certain things, there's limits, I guess, or whatever.
Well,
but like,
no, I hear you on that.
Have a beer with the guy? Is that weird?
No, that's I don't think that's weird. But no, my point being is that there's a lot of people. You saw it with the Beatles. The Beatles is a great example. That they land on the plane, they got all the women out there, they're all going crazy. Their panties are all wet, they're going out of their mind and all that kind of shit. If you want to have any kind of people of any kind of clout or caliber, you have to remove that from your mind and treat them like normal people. I've met a good amount of famous people in my day. I've talked to them, been to their houses, been to the Hollywood Hills, been to mansion parties, been to these other things. The reason why they liked me is because I treated them like normal. I say, hey, yo, so-and-so, grab me a beer out of the refrigerator, just like I would if Grass was at my house and he was near the refrigerator. Yeah. I'd be like, Grass, grab me a beer. Or I'd be like, yo, motherfucker, I just whipped your ass at ping pong. You got to set up the tequila shots next. Let's go, And they like that because they get that real form of connection then. They know that when you treat them like they're above you or something like that, that's not even a real form of connection, and they don't even want to have anything to do with that. You're treating them just like, everybody else is. And that extends also to this whole parasocial network that is YouTube. James, have you ever met anybody famous? And I can't imagine that you would even be starstruck by anybody, James. What do you think? What's going on with that?
I just want to get this out there. When I become really online famous, I will sign tits, I will sign arses, but I will not sign, under any circumstances, men's Corys. I will not be signing those. But I will sign tits and I will sign arses, thank you.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Right?
Yeah, I've met a ton of footballers, and I've said this before. Like Crystal Palace captain Mark Gay, he's a lot younger than me. He's mid-20s, right? But I never thought in my lifetime that I would see Crystal Palace win a trophy, and they won the FA Cup and they won the Community Shield, and it's one of the single greatest moments of my life to see the team that I've loved since I was 5 years old finally win a trophy. Now, Mark Gay is a man, and I'm a man. I could never imagine going up to him as an adult. Maybe like children. They should. They go up, they get autographs, they're starstruck. But as an adult, I can never imagine going up to Mark Gay and shaking Mark Gay's hand and saying, oh, Mark Gay, I love you. Thank you so much for giving me one of the greatest moments of my life. You don't know what it means to me. Because to me, that would emasculate me as a man.
Yeah,
if I saw Mark Gay out and he was in a bar or he was in a restaurant, and he was with his family, I wouldn't go and bother him. But say if he was on his own and he was at the bar, I'd be like, hey, can I buy you a drink? Thank you for that moment. And then I would just get him his drink and I would walk away. You know what I mean? That's how I see it, right? With regards to like famous people. It's like I'm not in awe of really anyone. The only people I'm really in awe of is my mother and father. Yeah. They're the only two people that I hero worship. I hero worship my mother and my father. Oh, yeah. I suppose it's like you hero worship certain members of your family or something. But I don't hero worship sports stars or movie stars or online people. I couldn't imagine meeting online people in real life. It would just be like to me, yeah, you're that person. You know what I mean? Hey, how you doing? What you been up to lately? Can I get you a drink? What you doing later? Can I come along? It'd be like that. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. That's kind of what I was trying to get across, I think, is just like I would just buy him a beer kind of thing. I wouldn't be like, oh my God, You know, that's kind of lame. But like, what you were kind of saying is kind of what I was saying. You know, it's like you spot. It's like, and I play Pokemon. You know that Pokemans. You know,
Poke that
it's
man.
like seeing a fucking shiny. You just see a fucking shiny in the fucking wild, and you're like, holy shit, that's fucking Mersh. What the fuck? And you're like, okay, that's kind of cool. You know, that's how I would treat that. He's probably beelining it, doing something. He's clearly uptown. I ain't gonna bug him, you know. But like, if he sees me, he's not gonna know who the fuck I am. I'm a faceless channel. That's the beauty of being a faceless channel. If I ever pop up into the millions or whatever, I ain't got to worry about motherfuckers seeing who the fuck I am outside of grass.
Look, the biggest eye opener for me, we've discussed this before, but I always reference this back as how there's a hierarchy and how certain people deal with hierarchy. You got Jeff Bezos, second richest man in the world, is he, behind Elon Musk? And his then fiance, Lauren Sanchez, saw fucking Leonardo DiCaprio, and she fucking melted.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Yeah,
absolutely melted. And that to me was like, this shit is crazy, man. And Jeff Bezos had to stand there like a cuck.
Yes.
Like another man basically emasculated him in front of him. I mean, I'd have been so pissed with her. So fucking I'd have called off the engagement. I'd be that pissed. I'd have called off the engagement. I'd say, your face looks like shit, darling. I'm kicking you to the curb.
That's right. That's right. We got D-Wag in the chat. Shout out to D-Wag. We're gonna have to get you on stream here pretty soon, D-Wag. He says he's gonna be rocking his Ray Ray is my #1 fan crop top. All right, I'm gonna have to make some of those just for you. What do you want, brown or pink? You let me know. Okay. No, but I completely agree with you, James. You don't want another man. You don't want your woman to look that way at another man. You want her to look adoringly at you. You don't want to like submit like that and then roll over on your back and expose your, like a dog exposes themselves to a superior dog. Yeah, that's not a good look, man, and it doesn't make the women horny at all, bro. Come on. I agree with you, James, 100%. So you can't be doing that. And of course, we all know that fame for women. Fame is the aphrodisiac. The more famous the person is, I heard stories about women climbing into the Rolling Stones, climbing up the balconies to get into their hotel rooms to have sex with them and all that kind of stuff. And here we got normal guys that can't even talk to women. You know what I'm saying? So if you got what they want, they're going to find a way to get to you. You know what I mean? And I use that as an example to all people. But as far as when you're a man and you're meeting like somebody famous or whatever, you have to use that impulse control, and you have to treat them like a normal person. You have to, or you'll be treated like a fan. I've heard that so many times, and
I see it like,
just dismiss
that
it.
Carly Simon song, "You're So Vain." It's one of my favourite songs for obvious reasons. But that line where he walks into the room, with the apricot scarf, like he owns the place. That's kind of like how I live my life. I could walk into like the lowest of the low or the highest of the high, and I always walk in there like I belong and I own the place. You know what I mean? That's my mentality in life. I don't want to look like I'm an imposter or I shouldn't be there. I always want to be like, I don't necessarily want to be the focus of attention, but I also don't want to be like, oh, you can tell he doesn't belong here. He shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? I want to go in confident all the time with a bit of a swagger, bit of bravado, bit of chat, and walk in like you're walking into a saloon in a Western. You know what I mean? It's like that, you got to give it something. You got to give it something in life, haven't you? Be confident.
Yeah. James, have you ever had the experience where you got your confidence knocked out?
Yeah, it's always women. Women who try to do it, Women try to put it on you. Like when there's like they're trying to like needle you in a relationship, and they use other men to get at you. You know what I mean? It's like they're going, oh yeah, did you see so and so? He looked really good tonight, didn't he? Did you see he had a nice smile, like rogue smile, or did you see he had a nice cologne on or something, or did you see? Oh, I like that jumper. Do you think that jumper would look good on you? Oh no, it wouldn't look good on you, would it? Where they do the little needle and stuff. I've been with women and in relationships where they're like that, and as soon as they go a bit fishy like that and a bit off, I kick their ass to the fucking curb, mate.
No, facts.
Because no one's doing that to me, like making out like I'm inadequate to another man, because there's a game with these women, you know what I mean? And you know if she does it once, she's going to do it again. So like, I don't like that kind of behaviour in women where they're a bit sneaky, bit snaky. You know what I mean? They try to use other men to get over on you or to make you feel inferior or weak. You know what I mean? And try and put a dominant move on you. I don't like that, and that's happened a couple of times, and you have to nip it in the bud straight away. Like I would have done if I was Jeff Bezos. Lawrence Sanchez stepped out of line. He's Jeff Bezos. He can get any woman he wants as long as Leonardo DiCaprio isn't in the room. So I'm like, fucking.
He's Jeff Bezos, James. He could have beat her on stage and nobody would have gave a shit.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't know.
Smack the shit out of her. Nobody would have cared.
No,
it's
that's
very
facts.
weird to me. Powerful men like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, how they get hung up on certain women. It's amazing to me how they're similar to us in our human nature, where we get hung up on a certain woman.
It's because
it's mad.
It's their first hit at a pussy, dude. That's why. It's
If I was that
fucking actually
if I was as rich as Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, I'd be a fucking psychopath, I think. I just wouldn't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
I think they are.
I'd be a total psychopath.
That's why Elon Musk is a psychopath, dude.
That's what I was going to say. I think he is a psychopath.
He did ketamine and brought a hooker to the fucking White House. He's a weird guy.
No, I've actually met Elon one time. I went to his Christmas party when at SpaceX in Hawthorne.
I bet you did because you said you worked for Boring, right?
Yeah, no, I worked for. I was a contractor for SpaceX and did some stuff for Boring too. But I met him at a Christmas party he had in Hawthorne. It was real close to my house, and he rented out this entire warehouse, and then he set up all these bars, all these rides, all kinds of crazy. He had like laser tag in there. It was all crazy for his SpaceX. It was their company Christmas party. And he had shuttles that were driving you, because if you don't know, Hawthorne is actually, what it really is Compton. Hawthorne is like renamed Compton. And so it's like in the heart of this, Compton crazy area. And he was like that, bro. He was on some stuff, man. He was having a good time that night. I'll tell you that right now.
I bet.
And and
it's Christmas, homie.
yeah, he in fact, there was some other stuff that goes on. Maybe I shouldn't say it, but yeah, he was on some stuff and he was going loony toony. And but it was a great night. There was all the free booze you could have, free food you could have. Everything was they had gift bags, they had all kinds of stuff. It was a really crazy.
Fun things, I get you.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I was like, Elon, invite me back next year, my man. What's going on? I think I went like 2 years in a row.
Like, I bet he's fun to hang with if you're like in his inner circle. But if you're his enemy, I would watch the fuck out. Especially if you were in the PayPal mafia. You know who you are.
Oh yeah, and those guys all glowed up too, right? They didn't stay nerds. They went to Turkey. They got their hair transplants. They're on steroids. They're trying to get jacked, and they were. So the money wasn't enough for them, which is crazy to think about.
But they were going to have a cage fight, weren't they? Zuckerberg and Musk, weren't they going to have a cage fight?
Oh yeah, Zuckerberg was training
they totally
jiu-jitsu.
were.
Yeah, Zuckerberg was training jiu-jitsu, right, in Hawaii for a while, and they were going to do that, but I guess they decided not to do it or whatever. I don't know. Maybe that metaverse thing that crashed and burned, didn't it? So maybe Zuckerberg didn't feel so good about it. I don't know. But let's see. We got D-Wack. He says it's kind of hard to be a psycho, always having to pretend like you're not, so people aren't freaked out. That's very interesting that you say that, Darren, because I was just talking to somebody about this the other day, and I was talking to him about how cluster B personalities, which are psychopaths, narcissists, Machiavellianism, all that kind of stuff, they invent these different rule sets that they try to adhere to pretend or to, estimate what real people are like so they can emulate that. All right, one of the books I think that they use is that 48 Laws of Power. I don't know, Grass, have you read 48 Laws of Power? Probably
yes.
Not. Or have you read?
Calling me a psychopath?
No, I've read it too. I'm not a psychopath, and but like I've
also read The Art of War and other things.
Right, and there's other things like that. James, have you ever read that 48 Laws of Power? I don't think you probably have. You're probably not into that kind of thing.
I've read Spot the Dog. Does that count?
Yeah, that counts, bro. Spot the Dog definitely counts.
Fuck yeah, dude.
But yeah, no, they they try to like estimate or reproduce what they think normal people are like, and so they create all these different little rule sets to abide by, and then they try to push those rule sets out on normal people. And I think that's kind of what's going on right now, especially with the AI and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of wild. Grass, you got any thoughts on that, or what do you think?
Dude,
That's probably a big
I would be here all fucking night.
yeah. I know. I was gonna say that's a big topic, man.
AI on the green pill since fucking, like I've been covering AI on the green pill since I started it. Like that's just an interest of mine, so I threw it into the mix, and I found out that there's like 10 to 11 companies that are all working in unison to try to build an AI that'll make $1 billion first. That is their first task. After that, then they take over a government. Or no. They take over a government. They take over a small state or a county, right? And guess what Elon Musk already did? He took over part of Texas.
Yeah, he took over. Not only that, but he's got a huge AI thing going on in Tennessee too, in Memphis, I think it is. So yeah, and then there's another place.
Water in Memphis. Yeah.
There's another place in Northern California, in between Sacramento and San Francisco. It's called the Billionaire Community, where the billionaires are buying up all the land. They're putting walls around everything, and they're even writing their own laws for that little area of the community. And then you got Bill Gates down in Arizona with his own private community, bro. So it's happening. It's happening. James, would you live in a billionaire private community?
Nah, it doesn't really seem like my kind of thing, really, does it?
No.
I like to be down and dirty with the peeps, mate. You know what I mean? I like to be in the muck and bullets. You know, I love it. Yes, that's why I love London so much. It's grimy, it's dirty, it's alive. You know.
Yeah.
Take apart from the fact that it's not really London anymore, and it's very much an international city like New York or Paris. But like, you know, you feel alive, right? It's dangerous, and you feel danger. You know what I mean? If you know, after 6 o'clock at night, mate, you're taking your life into your own hands, and I kind of like feeling that kind of rush. You know what I mean? A billionaire city sounds shit to me. It sounds like in 10 or 15 years' time, there's going to be a new Epstein or something. You know what I mean? It'll be something like that. I mean, I saw they were releasing the photos, didn't they, the Democrats, and it had all the usual suspects. There was Prince Andrew and there, Donald Trump, Bill Gates, all these fucking billionaires or people with affluence. And it's like, I have nothing in common with these people. It wouldn't be for me. We're like chalk and cheese. You know what I mean? I'll be like a duck out of water. It'd be like, oh look. There's that common boy there. Isn't he good? Isn't he good to have a jeep and a laugh at? Oh yes, come over here, boy, and amuse us with your South London witticisms. And I'm like, oh fuck off, mate. I'm not there for your amusement. It'd be a bit like that, I reckon. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, and I completely agree.
I'm trying to be a dick, but did you say chalk and cheese? I just wanted to make sure. Did you say chalk and cheese?
Yeah.
Earlier, did you say chalk and cheese? That is the best fucking descriptor. Holy shit!
Chuck E.
Sorry to roll everything down real quick, but like that was awesome. Yeah, I got it immediately. That was cool.
It's like, you know, when you're a duck out of water, don't you? I just I say that, like you know when you don't belong, don't you? You know, you're with your people. And, you know, I'm always with my people. I don't forget where I come from. And I like being with the people that I know. Like, I get along with you and Ray. You're like my people, you know what I mean? You're American and we're different, but we're kind of the same, you know what I mean? We all run along.
No, facts. I agree.
But these rich people, they get on my nerves. And I don't hate them because they're rich. Fair play to them. Accumulate your wealth. I'm a capitalist. Make as much money as you want to make. You know what I mean? But with it comes a lot of the baggage that I don't like.
Yeah. Have you ever, when you were younger, did you ever? Was there ever
really cool rich people? Like,
yeah.
We used to have rich people that like built education centers and shit. Like,
yeah, but when you were younger, did you ever have that kid in your class or whatever that had all the toys and he invited you over to play all the video games and you went over there?
Your nose in it.
Yeah, and he was exactly, and it was no fun at all. It was no fun at all. Yeah.
I had a guy, right, when I was at secondary school, and he was the first guy to get a PlayStation, right? And I still have my like Sega Mega Drive. You know what I mean? And he come over there, right, and he'd lord it over you, right? He go, oh yeah, this game's called Doom. He goes, you won't know this because you only have a Mega Drive, but this is Doom. And he goes, I'm going to show you how to play it. And then he give you the controller for 5 minutes, and then he snatch it away and say, you're doing it wrong. You don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? It was a bit like that. I think I remember that as a really vivid memory. Me and my friend Ross. And this kid called James Gocher, he was a real fat annoyance, you know what I mean? He was a right fat dollop. And he was like, you imagine like that kid from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, you know what I mean? Augustus Gloop. He was a glutton. He was a right Augustus Gloop. He had everything. He had anything he wanted. His parents doted on him. That's why he was a big fat dollop. But he loved lording it over everyone at school, that he was a have, and me and Ross were a have not, you know what I mean? Our families were a bit poorer. He was like upper middle class, and we were like lower middle class. And he loved rubbing our nose in it, and he used like PlayStations and or like when we play football, he'd always have the shiny new football boots. You know, our ones would be a bit beaten up or hand-me-downs, and he'd have all the good stuff.
Well, that's what I imagine the billionaires are like. You know, even if you went to their party, it wouldn't be fun. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about something else. Have you ever had that experience, Grass, where you ran into a kid in your grade school, he invited you over, he had all the games, but when you went over there, he didn't want to play any of the games or whatever? I definitely had that experience.
Oh, yeah. A few times, man. Like, there was a couple richer cousins, and then, like, there was one time specifically... This kid got Guitar Hero for the first time, right? And like, it's weird because like I went over there to hang out with him because I knew him because he lived right up the road, so he's like a neighbor. And I went to go spend the night, and we played some Guitar Hero and stuff. But like, he was playing majority of the time, and then like I also heard later that like his stepmom or whatever bought this game so he would meet friends. Like it was a weird thing like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel bad for him because like he didn't like have too much of personality. So I tried to like be his friend to give him a personality, you know, help him out. But like, I don't know. I don't know where he is today, but like that, it was a weird situation, you know?
Yeah.
And that kind of reminded me of that one. Maybe.
Well, that's what all the billionaires, I think, are like. You know, they don't have personalities. They have all these shiny toys that attract people, and then they try to, like, bend and twist the people in their parties. Like, you've heard of those, like, Rick Rubin or those white parties or whatever with that, you know, like I guess the Diddy parties, too, you know. I know D-Wag mentioned that the Diddy parties in the chat. But even the Diddy parties, you know, you go over there to have a good time or whatever, you know, you want to have fun, and then all of a sudden, you know, at 1 o'clock it turns into this whole vampire thing where, like, it gets, like, you know, bizarre and weird. And, you know, you get twisted, right?
If I saw 500 bottles of baby oil, I'd be getting the fuck out of there ASAP, I tell you.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, no
like,
shit.
Like you're just trying to get
some fucking baby oil comes rolling in.
Yeah, you're just trying to get your like buzz on. You're just trying to have a fun time, and all of a sudden they take it some other level, and they want to like do some weird shit, tie some women up, pee on them or whatever, and you're like, what the fuck? I was just trying to get a tequila.
I feel like that's what Epstein Island was. It was just a bunch of people getting drunk, and then all of a sudden they looked down, they were getting blown, and they were like, whoa, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
What is this? They look over, and then Epstein's like, chink.
Oh, no, I agree with that 100%, but then I got to ask you the question then, right? I'll give the guys who went there the first time a pass, maybe. But what about the guys who went back 24 more times, bro? Come on.
The repeat offenders. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fuck
they knew what the buffet was all about. Yeah, that's some crazy stuff.
Standing there long enough to get painted by somebody there. Yeah, no. You go in the fucking box.
Well, what did Alan Dershowitz say? He said, I was just there for the massages. I never even took my underwear off, bro. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. That's some bullshit, 100%.
Stephen Hawking, though, is the one that sticks in my head, right, is Stephen Hawking.
Is he even real? Is he even real? Is he a real guy, or is he just a character?
Fuck, I don't know. Wheeling him into the corner. Wheeling him into the corner I mean, he's the worst if you like. Fucking mate, I tell you.
I was watching some Owen
He's just over
Benjamin
there,
stuff.
King. No, help. Please.
No,
I want you to go home.
Go back. I was watching some Owen Benjamin stuff, right, where he was talking about Stephen Hawking, and he was showing some of the old videos of how there was a translator with Stephen Hawking before he had that robotic thing, and Stephen Hawking would go like that, and the translator would say, well, actually, what Stephen just said was he would prefer to have his steak with a Caesar salad on the side and maybe a water with a lime twist and a little cake to go. And you're like, he did not just say that. What the fuck are you talking about? And so like Owen Benjamin said that he thinks Stephen Hawkins was a psyop from the beginning. What do you think about that, Grass? Was Stephen Hawkins, is he real, man? Is he the real deal, or is he fake?
That's always been a theory, hasn't it? Like, he's always been this guy in a chair that anybody could just plug into him. Like, that's always been a thing. And like, I can't remember what show it was, but there was a throwaway joke where Stephen Hawking was in his chair and somebody just like typed in what he was supposed to say, and he's like, kind of looked at him like, I didn't fucking say that.
Yeah.
It's a real thing, man. You can easily take advantage of the disabled. That's why they need to be protected. You know, like that's what Christians are and stuff. You're supposed to protect the weak and the needy and whatnot. Like it's kind of fucked up to see, but you know that's what they did to Biden too. They just grabbed a disabled person and
right,
and like filled with drugs.
And Pat in the chat, she makes a really good point, just like Helen Keller, right? Zaid says, doesn't Owen believe pigeons are robots? I think he does. I think he thinks pigeons are robots. I don't know. Because you've never seen a baby pigeon. Very good point, Zaid. That they're spy robots.
Are drones robots?
Yeah, they could be. But James, what do you think? Do they have these fake people that are characters like a Stephen Hawking or what's that one guy, Stevie Wonder? Is he really blind? Did you see that video of him catching the microphone? Do they have people who just
shit.
Play these characters on the stage of life? What do you think, James?
Yeah, Stephen Hawking, he was like an able-bodied man. He was just fucking around and pretending, I think. You know what I mean? For sympathy. I've never thought Stevie Wonder was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that hairline was wild, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Where he had like the hair down the back and it was receding at the top, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I reckon everyone's faking it to a certain degree. You know what I mean? He probably wasn't as blind as he was letting on. You know what I mean? He probably could see a few things.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, but Stephen Hawking, someone should have just done the world a favour and took the handbrake off and pushed him off a cliff. Get rid of him.
Yeah, well, they definitely made him up to be like, well, he was supposed to die like 30 years ago. He's still alive. Good for him. I'm glad he's still alive. But then they're saying he's this big physicist guy, and they made him into this whole character, right? And we see him in the zeitgeist of like, you see him in South Park. You see him in The Simpsons.
They always do that, don't they? Elevate people. Doesn't that really frustrate you? Doesn't that really frustrate you how certain people get elevated? That's the one thing that really annoys me. It's like I said to Harry the other day. I said it on stream with Ray. Guarantee it. Put all the money you've got on. Remortgage your house. Gavin Newsom will be the next president of the United States of America. I'm convinced of it. He's being elevated right now. He's being elevated. He's got no challengers within the Democratic Party. What, Kamala Harris? He's being elevated and he's being positioned as being the next president of the United States of America. I truly believe it. Like they randomly elevated Kamala Harris, didn't they? They had so many other candidates they could have gone with, and they elevated the dumbest bitch in the room. You know what I mean? Why?
You make a great point because AOC, she came out of nowhere, and then Darren in the chat, he makes a great point about the Haktua girl. She shouldn't have been famous. She came out of nowhere. They pushed her like crazy.
That's true too. That was weird.
So we're seeing all these.
I don't even reckon she could suck good cock. You know what I mean? The way she was talking.
Hell no, bro. Hell no.
Oh yeah.
Her head game is weak, bro. She couldn't even give Stephen Hawking a boner. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
I like a good spit and polish. She didn't look like she was the girl for the task. I tell you.
No, for real. So, you see these plants, like these industry plants, You see him in music. You see him in Hollywood. You see him in politics. So why wouldn't you see him in these different areas like academia? You know, where they put forth like an Indiana Jones type or something like that, or even like Jordan Peterson, bro. They brought that guy up. Then they fucking took him to Russia and cleaned his clock, and he's like a different person now. Every time he.
Who's the actress who was going on about with the big tits? Sydney Sweeney. Where the fuck did she come from?
Oh yeah,
Where the fuck did Sabrina Carpenter come from? She was fucking ugly, and now she's a sex symbol. Where the fuck did she come from?
Well, you know, and like Pat makes another good point, like Erica Kirk, you know, Charlie Kirk's wife, you know, now how come she's not at home crying with her children? Instead, she's out there taking control as a CEO of moving forward. We're gonna push this forward. It's so crazy, bro. It's wild.
Did you see that weird tissue thing where she's not crying, but she's dabbing her eyes?
Yeah, I saw that, bro. It's all an act.
No tears.
It's
no
all
tears there.
Yeah.
It's all like gesture politics. Dabbing her right. There's no fucking tears.
That chick's evil, bro.
She's a psycho, isn't she?
She's a psycho.
You're always going on about.
Yeah, and like Pat says, she's everywhere now, bro. You can't turn on anything. Like, she's on the news, she's on the talk shows, she's on YouTubes. She's everywhere, bro. And so you can't get away from her. And so they're pushing her so much, you got to ask the question, why? You know, she's not special. It's like, did they stage this whole Charlie Kirk thing to put her at the top, or what's going on? Is it a sacrifice? I don't know. It's really strange.
What was it they said? Suddenly his views were starting to waver or change, weren't they? His views were starting to slip a bit, waver, change. He was questioning a few countries, a few people, and then suddenly.
Right. Well, yeah, he was questioning Israel. He didn't take the money or something like that. And he's out, bro.
I had to say it on YouTube. I didn't want to get your channel fucked. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it. No, we can say Israel. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know. Another good point. Zayd brings up another good point. Candace.
Close to Hanukkah, Ray. You watch it.
Yeah, I better take it easy, right? I better take it easy. But Zayd brings up another good point. He says Candace Owens, bro, she was a plant, dog. Remember, she used to be talking about red pill stuff all the time. Now she's all Miss Political, and she married that like multi-millionaire guy from,
didn't she?
Yeah, from England. Yeah, the English guy who's like a lord or something, right? He has a title. He actually has like, what do you call that pill? What do you call that when you have a title over?
He's a lord. He's a lord.
Yeah, he's a lord or something like that. And she married him, and then she's all bitching because you know, she's a working mother. And I'm like, you're married to a guy that's like worth $130 million. What are you even talking about, man? And now she's going all in on making this whole thing with Erica Kirk, and they're like getting into a tussle. I think it's all theater myself. What do you guys think?
I think they're trying to run for a Republican ticket.
Yeah, I definitely think they're trying to exalt her.
Happening.
Yeah, I think they're trying to exalt her for sure.
Nick's getting elevated now, isn't he? Nick Fuentes is going mainstream. They decided, I don't know who's decided, but the Conservatives decided to embrace Nick Fuentes. I told you, I come from the Gypsy Crusader school of everything. If this wasn't YouTube, people would, and I respect, and I didn't, you know, I respect you and respect your channel. I would be saying a lot more extreme things, as in Gypsy Crusader style. But Nick's going mainstream now, isn't he? He's becoming a conventional mainstream political. He could probably even run for office, couldn't he?
I think so.
Have a good shot at getting in.
Yeah, I think so. I totally think he would.
Yes.
And that's
the thing, and that's what he was going to do, right? With Kanye West?
Yeah. But, you know, he did a big turn, and especially, like, it seems like even some of his positions are changing now that he would talk to Tucker. What were you going to say, Grass?
Yeah, man, it starts with Tucker, I believe, right? Like, it starts with Tucker. He's friends with fucking Piers Morgan. And whenever Piers set him up, he was like, hey, man, yeah, you were on Tucker, and Tucker said I should have you on. Yeah. I disagreed with him, but I brought you on anyway.
Yeah.
And, then he was like, oh, no, yeah, that Crinkly, he's a cool guy and whatnot.
Yeah. Grass, do you think Tucker's CIA? What do you think?
Yes. His dad was, and there's no such thing as an ex-CIA operative. Do not ever trust anybody that has any three-letter organization in any part of their family lineage.
Yeah.
Even Alexander fucking Jones.
Yeah. Facts. James, what do you think? You guys over there, you got your version of the CIA. I forget what it's called, right off the top of my head. But do you think Pierce Morgan's in that group? Yeah, is Pierce Morgan MI5? Is Pierce Morgan like that?
Could you imagine him as being a secret agent, a la James Bond? The funny thing about that, right? You know, when you actually you actually see these people in real life. They exposed one of our secret agents, right? His name was David Shaler, back in the day, and he was not he's not your James Bond type. You know what I mean? He was a big fat dollop, right? Who was just good at speaking languages and good at communications. You know what I mean? These are very disappointing people when you see what they're really like, but they're nothing like the TV shows or the movies. You know what I mean? In the whole espionage game. But yeah, I believe the problem with Piers Morgan is he's an industry plant, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's an industry plant. He's a guy that's been elevated. He is someone who is very establishment. He's very corporate. You can put any words to this. He was a COVID zealot. He's very much a government yes man. He's also very dubious, as he went after our soldiers when he worked for the Daily Mirror. He tried to get our soldiers in a lot of trouble and said in Abu Ghraib they abused soldiers in Iraq. And he put up all the things where the pictures of the so-called abusive soldiers, and he basically betrayed. He says he's for the army and he's for the military, but he basically betrayed every military serviceman in the country. He's also guilty of committing phone hacking. When he was at the Daily Mail and the News of the World, he committed phone hacking. So you know this guy has got form. He's not someone who you should respect or trust. Yeah. He's a complete establishment stooge. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, the crazy thing, James, is that when he got in trouble for that phone stuff or whatever, he got in trouble in the UK, he came over to America and he revamped his career. Do you know how he did that? I'll remind you. He revamped his career on The Celebrity Apprentice, where he won, where Donald Trump was in charge of The Apprentice. So they worked together to revamp his career. And then he did some stuff over in America for a while. Then he went back to the UK and took over all his shows again. So Donald Trump helped to remanufacture his image and put together his career. How wild is that? How could he not be MI5?
It's like it's all PR stuff, isn't it? It's all very PR'd. You know what I mean? It's like he got a life raft over in America. Now, America didn't have a fucking clue who Piers Morgan is.
No, we didn't. I didn't know who he was. Yeah.
I've always said this about Americans, and I don't mean this as a slight, so don't take it the wrong way.
I'm taking it the wrong way, James.
If America sneezes, if America sneezes, we all catch a cold, don't we?
Yeah,
but Americans don't really watch and follow what's going on in England, but everyone in England watches and follows what's going on in America.
Right.
So I don't really understand how Piers Morgan ever made it in America or ever got the job at CNN, because he was a nobody who basically, what I remember, he spent every episode slagging you guys off about gun control, saying you need gun control and I want to take your guns. That doesn't seem like a very good formula for having a successful show, when he just campaigned about having gun control on his primetime show. That's basically all I remember of his time at CNN. He went on about mass shootings, didn't he, at schools, and how you need gun control.
Yeah, that brings to mind another famous person that was supposedly a part of MI5 or MI6 was Aleister Crowley. They used to say that he was a part of the secret. Oh. Yeah, they said Aleister Crowley was a member of, I think, MI5 at the time or whatever, and that of course he was with everything else, the Golden Dawn and all that kind of stuff, and he had 33rd Degree Mason, all that kind of fun stuff. And he said he had more medals than you could fill a house with, and more peerage than you can fill a house with. And I can't remember if he got knighted or not. Maybe he did. But back then they said he was part of MI5. And so you see a lot of these people who shape culture, shape society. They're part of these secret, clandestine operations like MI5, like CIA.
Who was the guy who was MI5 or MI6, wasn't it? Do you remember the Steele dossier? How the Clintons got what was it, Hillary and Bill, they got that ex-British Secret Service guy Steele to do the dossier on Donald Trump, didn't they? The dodgy dossier.
That's right. They're
all hooked up, and that was debunked. And he was like ex-MI5 or MI6. I can't remember his first name. I just remember it's called the Steele dossier or something.
Yeah, yeah. Zayd brings a good point. He says Thelema. They all practice Thelema. That's true. They do. So we got these industry. Thelema is just a type of spirituality. It's like do what thou wilt kind of thing. It's
Okay.
yeah. It's what Alistair
I know
Crowley.
what do what thou wilt is, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, when he wrote the Book of the Law, and had a whole bunch of that stuff in it, and that's what one of the things he was famous for.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting enough, I was
My Satanist friend was into that guy.
yeah. Interesting enough, they're all into the Book of the Dead from the Egypt, and we should maybe even do a thing about that. Zayd brings up Helena Blavatsky. Exactly, she was like one of the big. I don't know what you would want to call it, but not really a philosopher, more of like a spiritualist or something like that, where she practiced that. They all came out of the Frankist school, which was originally the Sabbatai Zevi school of thought. We can totally do that's a whole separate conversation, but it's a really good one. We'll talk about that some other time. But the point that I wanted to make is that we see clearly that they do establish these different plants in all these different industries or these different areas of society in order to shape what the groupthink is. Some people say Elvis was like that. Some people say, Sabrina Carpenter was like that.
Keir Starmer's one of them. Keir Starmer was another one.
Yeah, there you go.
He was a human rights lawyer.
Yeah.
The country with illegal migrants.
Right. No, you're 100% right on that. Mm-hmm. And I just got to fix this around a little bit. Where'd you go? There you are. All right. No, you're 100% right like that. I think is the audio back?
Is your audio still good? Really?
Yeah, I think the audio's back. I think it's fine. It just had a little glitch right there. I think so. I think it's back.
Okay. I didn't know if what I suggested fixed it or not. If you need help, let me know later.
Yeah, no, I'll have to talk with you about that because I just got the dual monitor set up and now I gotta do the screen capture and all that kind of stuff. But back to what we were talking about is like they definitely have those plants. What did you say? You said you just said that James Keir Starmer is definitely one of those plants. Keir
Starmer was a human rights lawyer. He was groomed under Labour in the late 90s by Tony Blair, then Prime Minister Gordon Brown, Chancellor of the Exchequer, and then he became head of public prosecutions. And when he was head of public prosecutions, people like Jimmy Savile didn't get prosecuted.
Right.
And then he became leader of the Labour Party, leader of the opposition. Now he's Prime Minister. He refuses to leave the ECHR, which is the European Court for Human Rights, because he was a former human rights lawyer. And now the country's being flooded with illegal migrants, so it's full circle.
Yeah, so it's obvious he's a clear plant. And then we got Mandani over in New York City, who just became the mayor. He's a plant, but one of the biggest plants that I'll bring up is Obama. If you guys remember, Obama was a huge plant. He went from being a nobody to being a senator for just 2 years before he ran for office, and then all of a sudden he becomes president of the United States of America. That's a huge plant, and of course that pissed Hillary Clinton off and all that kind of stuff. But we see plants like that all the time. We see them everywhere. So why wouldn't they be, like in the media? Of course they're going to be in the media. Of course, we're starting to see YouTube plants. You see different YouTube personalities kind of shoot out of nowhere. And some of them fall off. Like, do you remember that girl? She interviewed like Drake, like in her second podcast ever. Do you remember her? They were in bed or something like that. I forget what her name was. And she interviewed that black lady or that black musician, and she said, "You're a musician," and the black lady's like, "I don't think you know what that means. I ain't no musician, huh? I do everything.
Oh yeah,
I do everything.
Yeah.
And I forget what her
she didn't know what a musician was. She thought it was a magic thing.
Yeah, exactly. And she said, "No, I think
you think I do magic and impersonation."
Yeah. And so I think she was a huge plant, and then that didn't work out, and so she fell off. She's gone now. Hawk Tuah was a huge plant. She did the rug pull. She's out of here now. So that's what I'm.
I thought her friend was better looking.
Yeah, yeah, and her friend was better looking. That's true. And but I heard that Hawk Tua's dad was like a really wealthy man that paid for all this stuff to happen and everything like that. So I don't know. That's a possibility. Bobby Altoff, that's right, Mr. Jeeky, he nailed it. Bobby Altoff, she was the streamer that talked to that black girl. No, I think you don't know what musician means. You don't tell me what I know and what I don't know. And I was like, oh wow, this is incredible, bro. This is some incredible shit. But, you know, we see those plants everywhere. And you probably have a ton of them in England, James, all over the place, you know, and...
Wait here, I'm just getting something from my handlers. They're telling me to deny everything.
yeah, facts. Yeah, no doubt about that.
Oh, no!
Right, yeah. So maybe we should just have a stream one time where we talk about some of this. That's a very good idea. Talk about some of this stuff.
Spiritual God Warrior could go on about this forever. He probably knows all about all this stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Spirit probably knows all about that stuff. Yeah, we might have to get him to come on. Yeah, I did a stream on your channel, Grass, with him, and yeah, he's a very knowledgeable individual. He's
I think his life is one big conspiracy theory.
He is.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun too. He's a lot of fun.
I'm doing a fucking Hanukkah stream with him on Sunday. Actually, it's gonna be fun.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so we'll have to jump in there and definitely watch that. I'd love to watch that. We are coming up on the top of the second hour, fellas, so we're going to probably wrap it up here pretty soon.
That's how I get to watch Professor Grass's stream, because I can't watch anyone else's stream because it's like killer for me. I've got to sleep. But Professor Grass streams when I wake up, so I just go in there and go, poke that man, and just do his Pokemon thing. Poke that man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He rolls in, he's like, morning, bruv. Get my coffee, and I'm like, all right, fuck yeah, dude.
Well, see, that's what it's all about, though, bro. You know, do it for the love of the game. You do it for the bros. You do it to hang out. You do it for the synergy. And that's what I really want to do, and that's what we want to promote, the Bros United, man. And so that's awesome. I always put I'll put Grass on the big screen, and I'll watch them while I'm doing my paint and stuff like that. I'm rarely in the chats because it's hard for me to jump in the chat and paint at the same time. So usually I have it on the big screen. But I watch I watch James's videos sometimes on the big screen. It's pretty fun because James, you have started coming up in my algorithm on my YouTube algorithm. So I'm seeing you over there, and so that's a lot of fun. But we're going to wrap it up.
I'm just flooding it. They're going, Jesus Christ, we'll just show one. He does about 35 videos. So we'll just show one to keep him quiet. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. But I saw, Grass, you were making that potato candy, and so I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm going to be making some almond.
Yeah, man. So.
Yeah, what's the story on the potato candy anyway?
Man, an update on that.
Yeah, what's the story of the potato
candy?
It's
not out there yet because I got it ready, right? I got it all set up, but then my wife was like, hey, I'll make some nougat candy if you wait. So I'm also going to send you some nougat candy that my wife made.
Hell yeah.
I love double treats.
I love that nougat candy. So I'm pumped about that. But you kind of like got me rolling, and you kind of inspired me. And I made a little bit of candy myself. I'm gonna send some to you, Grass. I'm gonna send some to James and all the bruvs.
What kind of candy? What kind of candy? Hang on. What kind of candy?
It's almond roca and macadamia nut fudge, bro.
Fuck yeah! I get to have some of the fucking donut poop or dinosaur poop.
Yeah,
I watched that on my green pill, homie.
Yeah,
that shit rules.
Yeah, that was pretty good, right?
I'm so excited for that shit.
Yeah. So I'm sending all the bruvs that stuff.
And I was like, oh my god, that looks awesome, dude. I didn't know about that trick with you take the chocolate out and you put it in was it water or whatever? It turns into a soft ball.
The soft ball trick, bro. The softball trick, I use that for every hot candy, bro. I use it for the almond roca. I use it for the fudge. You take it out, you drip it into the water, the lukewarm water, and as soon as it turns into a nice ball, you know it's ready to pour. And so, like, when I'll make that was one batch. That one right there was just one batch. But I'll double and triple the recipe, put it in a big bowl, and then mix the whole thing. Wait till it's ready to pour. Pour it all out. It'll go all over the entire counter, bro. And so that's how I do that. And so the softball technique, bro, my mom taught me that shit from way back in the day, man. I've tried to do it with thermometers and stuff like that, but it doesn't work. The softball method, people, is the way to go. Okay, so use the softball method. That's the way to go.
That was the most chef shit I've ever seen.
Right?
I was like, oh my god, yes, I'm so glad I grabbed it. Like I grab sometimes I'll grab your Sunday fun days, and now it's the dumped cooking. But like,
Yeah.
I've been grabbing some of your cooking videos for the Green Pills sometimes because that shit is just delightful. Please never stop.
Hell yeah, bro. Thanks. No, I appreciate it. It makes me happy you get such a kick out of it. That's fucking amazing. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm making some almond roca tomorrow, as a matter of fact, and I'm gonna put it all together. Gonna send it out to all you guys. Also, like I said, if anybody in the chat wants some, make sure you guys send me a message on X and let me know. Not you, Pat. I know I got you, dog. I already got you on the list. Don't worry about it. I already gotten yours sending out and all that kind of stuff. But everybody else, if you like anybody else, D-Wag, you're already on the list too, bro. Don't worry. And yes, I'm sending some all the way over to you, James, all the way in England. It's going to happen. So don't worry about that.
Fucking hell, man. I'll tell you.
Right? You know, I'll hide the cocaine in the macadamia nuts. Don't worry. Don't worry.
You gotta hide it like in a little bag under it and put a piece of paper so nobody knows it's under there. You know.
No, I'll just label it dinosaur poop. Yeah, dinosaur poop. They'll never know. But Grass, final thoughts today. Where can people find you? Because we're gonna wrap it up and get on out of here. Get to lunch.
Final thoughts, man. Hey, I know that this wasn't necessarily Christmas stream. I almost got shit backwards and stuff, but I have a special thing for your Christmas stream that I'm playing.
All right.
It's not super
excellent.
Special, but a little tiny special thing.
No, I love special stuff.
So I almost had it ready today, but it wasn't ready. So
good.
I will have it ready by the time Christmas rolls around.
We're gonna have a good time.
You guys can find me on X, Rumble, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's what it's called. I'm on all those places. I multi-stream the Green Pill. We're doing 25 days of Green Pill. We're rolling through doing Christmas strains. That's why this thumbnail is a Christmas tree, because the most recent episode 100 was Christmas tree strain. And I cover history of cannabis, and we also like to have fun and watch weird shit on the internet.
Hell yeah. And the Green Pill is a lot of fun. Right? Yeah, I've been on there a couple times. It's a lot of fun to chat with Professor Grass, and it's a lot of fun to hear what he talks about. And I learned something. I don't smoke weed myself, but I love to learn about how stuff grows, bro, and all that kind of stuff. So go check him out. Go watch Professor Grass on the Green Pill on YouTube. Follow him on X and all that good stuff too. James, you're getting traction, bro. You're breaking that 1,000 mark barrier. Where can people find you? Well, what are your final thoughts?
Go support Professor Grass. Go support Ray in their endeavours. Follow me and James Domenico, Grabham81. James Grabham. You don't have to. I'm not twisting your arm. I'm not pulling your leg. I know I'm a acquired taste, so if you don't fancy it, don't worry about it. I'll make it with or without you.
That's right, baby.
It might be a bit more of a struggle, but I wanted to say, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have fun. Stay sexy. And I shall see you next time.
That's right. Follow James, everybody. Follow him on X. Follow him on YouTube. Help get that motherfucker up over 2,000 views. Share him out. Retweet him. That's what we're going to do. We're going to have all that synergy. We're going to have a good time. Next time we're going to get together as Bruvs Unite. I think I might have something on Tuesday. We're going to have something tomorrow on Saturday. So everybody get out there. Go kick some ass. Thanks everybody for in the chat for watching. Zaid, Pat, Mr. Jeeky, D-Wag. We got to get you on stream next time, D-Wag. Got to get your ass out here. And everybody else that was out today. Thanks so much.
What James did, right?
What now?
You seen that, right? He was like, what James did there? He was like, this is what he does. This is why James rules.
Yeah,
He
James is
stopped,
awesome.
And he was like, you know what? No. Follow Professor Grass and follow Ray Ray first, then follow me. That guy needs all the damn follows.
Yeah,
this guy's
James.
a solid dude.
James comes off like a curmudgeon, but he's really an awesome guy. So make sure you guys go follow James. James, say something so people can see you really quick before we get out of here. Say something real fast. Say, hey, bruv. So I can switch.
Hey, bro.
There you go.
Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace versus City. Go support the team. Come on, let's go.
That's right. Go follow this guy over here. Follow James, and we're going to get out of here. Knuckle bumps to all the guys, all the bros, everybody. Thanks for a great Saturday. We're out, people.